Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Northeast Ohio High School Football Rivalries. The latest book from veteran author Vince McKee takes you behind the scenes of some of the biggest moments in Ohio high school football history. McKee has every big rivalry covered, from the Holy War to the Silver Rail. You can find Northeast Ohio High School Football Rivalries anywhere books are sold or online at Amazon.com. Gable's Search Group. Founded in 2002, they help companies find candidates for most of their open positions nationwide. Gable Search Group is a professional placement firm located in Willoughby and only 20 minutes from the heart of Cleveland, Ohio. They specialize in areas of accounting, finance, legal, sales and marketing, information technology, engineering, and a host of other personnel. Their company can place an individual on a permanent or temporary basis nationwide. You can find out more about them today by visiting www.gablesearch.com or calling 440-951-9990. Start your career today with Gable Search Group. Airport Go-Kart. If you're looking for a fun time with your kids or friends, then head over to Airport Go-Kart at 16208 Brook Park Road in Cleveland. It's fun for everyone involved at a next to nothing price.
Good evening and welcome in to Week 9 of the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. We are live from Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium, where the Blue Devils host the Hudson Explorers. Cole McDaniel alongside me, Dom Clary as always. Dom, it is a windy night today in Brunswick. Going to make this game interesting.
Absolutely cool. You know, weather like this is when I learned the old Vaseline trick, right? The key is you put a little Vaseline on the arms, right? Put it around the neck, blocks the wind. But be careful. You better wear gloves because if you have to touch the ball, even block somebody, your hands might slide around after applying the Vaseline on the arms. But this is a cold one when it comes to the wind. Weather was actually pretty good today, so it'll be interesting to see how the wind comes into play, especially in the kicking game.
Yeah, and I know we always love coming to Brunswick. Some great hospitality here, including the very kind gentleman who helped run down my pregame notes as that blew out of the press box here earlier. That just goes to show how windy it is out here. Of course, that wind blowing from right to left across the field. So we're going to see if the passing game is maybe going to be slowed down for both of these teams. Going to have to maybe go to the ground game. Could also change the kicking game a little bit as well. The Blue Devils, with their blue jerseys and white pants, and the Hudson Explorers in all white with the really nice blue helmets with almost that metallic looking logo there on the side of the helmet as well. So the Blue Devils, as they're about to kick this one away from left to right on your screen. This one going to hang up in that wind and fielded at about the 28-yard line, making a man miss, getting up past the 35 and taken down at the 38, and that is where the Explorers will come out onto the field. So as we look at the Blue Devils first, coming into this one tonight, an overall record of 2-6, 1-3 in the Greater Cleveland Conference. A team that better than their 2-6 record, like we talked about, currently on a 3-game losing streak, but against a tough slate. Minter, Solon, and Medina, but Dom, you talked about it before. We're both in agreement. Better than that record shows.
This is a team that had growing pains early on, kind of figured out their identity, just got tough when they figured that out.
The Explorers again with the ball here first. Two receivers out to the far side. Running out of the pistol here to start. Yager Palais, the senior quarterback. Might I mention the fantastic flowing hair that he has as well. Decides to keep that one stuffed up the middle behind the line of scrimmage. Gets some cheers from the home crowd.
What's that character on Remember the Titans? Sunshine.
Rolling to the right, looking to throw this one out to the far side, and this one in and out of the hands of the intended wide receiver. That's number 23, Cade Fontana.
You know, this is an undefeated Explorer team. I don't think we touched on that yet. Not a team we know too much about, right? They're in the Suburban League.
Correct.
So that conference we fully cover. We've been out to a game this year, but
back to pass on third down, looking to roll out to the left-hand side. And that one thrown into tight coverage. It is complete, but at the 39-yard line, and that is going to be a quick 3 and out. And, of course, a holding penalty also going against the Explorers. Would assume this one just going to be declined and really going to force the Explorers to probably punt this one away here in a moment.
You know, if you're the Blue Devils right now, you got to be eager, right? You know, you force what most likely is going to be a 3 and out here, right? Not the ideal schedule or the ideal results that you had to your schedule going into the year. You have a chance to kind of put a little bad taste in of an undefeated team's mouth here, right? I mean, this is a team that you can kind of maybe not spoil their season, but kind of, hey, but this is not what we expected.
Here's a snap, rolling out, an Aussie-style punt. This one's going to take a nice hop at about the 10-yard line and get out. No, it's going to actually turn left just a little bit. It looked like it was going to actually turn right. Instead, maybe a sharp left turn and finds its way into the corner of the end zone for a touchback. Really looked like that could have pinned Brunswick deep. Fortunate roll for the Blue Devils.
You know, that rugby punt there is what we like to call it. Usually high schools tend to use it. My high school did it. We did it in college too. What you do is you put an athlete back there, right? You basically tell them every single play for the most part, hey, you can either run, you can take it, or you can punt it. You know what you like, right? But be smart. Don't do anything stupid. Be smart with it. Not a lot of hang time usually, but the ball rolls just a little bit more.
Roxandich, clap of the hand. He's going to hand this one off. Toomey looking for some room, getting out to the near side past the 20-yard line, brought down up at about the 24. Taking a look at the players to watch for on this Brunswick Blue Devils offense. Of course, the sophomore quarterback, Ethan Roxandich, the Rock. A trio of wide receivers, senior wide receivers, might I add. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. It's Cade Somm, Jack Safko, and Matthew Horton. Of course, you saw James Toomey, an impact player in the return game. And a defensive back, he got the first touch there. And John Crawford, the junior, in at running back. Lead blocker there for Roxandich as he looks to run. Trying to cut back, and he is brought down behind the 20-yard line. Huge loss there on that play after a nice first play.
No, the one thing here with the Rock is to maximize his potential, you have to limit the negative plays. And he has a lot of big plays he does. Also, probably an equal number, a few mistakes, right? Sometimes holds the ball a little bit too long, doesn't know where to go when he scrambles. Things that you can iron out here in a young sophomore quarterback. But I'd like to see him maximize his opportunities just a little bit more.
Clap of the hand, rolling to his right. Trying to throw, and that one skipping off of the turf and then falls incomplete. Now 4th and 11, and the punting unit coming out after a 3 and out for the Blue Devils as well. So the Hudson Explorers holding strong defensively on that first drive they had to go up against after a 3 and out themselves. Talking about them, you mentioned they're undefeated, 8-0 overall, 5-0 in the Suburban Conference. Now this is actually the 3rd GCC team that they've played this year. They previously beat Solon 14-13, as well as Euclid 35-0. This punt here takes a hop and bounces back, and the Explorers going to come out with decent field position at the 49-yard line. So the last time out also, a team that, Dom, actually the 1 week you weren't with us, it was myself and Brandon. Of course, Brandon Soder with us here tonight. You'll hear him at halftime. Last time that Hudson played a game last week was against North Royalton, a team that we're familiar with. They got the win 42-26. Out of the pistol, here's a handoff up the middle. Looking for some room is Ian Ludwig, the junior running back, and brought down after a gain of about 2. Ludwig to the left of his quarterback. He's going to get the carry. Looking to cut back up the middle. Finds a little bit of room and out past the 45-yard line. Now going to be about a 3rd and 4.
Hurry up offense here. They signal in, ready to play. Only takes them maybe 10 seconds.
Here's a screen out to the near side. Getting out to the 40-yard line. That's going to be enough to move the chains. Ball officially spotted at the 40.
This team wastes no time, Cole.
Trying to apply that pressure on the Brunswick defense, who held strong against the first drive. Keeper for Palayan gets to the 36.
You have to have well-conditioned offensive linemen. They got to be quick on their feet to run an offense like this.
Back to pass out to the far side. That one just a little bit high and past the reach of the intended target. Falls incomplete.
Let's see how quick they go here that it was an incomplete pass, right? So they're taking their time, signaling in, still moving a little bit quick, still an urgency, but they're still taking their time a little bit. This is more of what we see as a modern college football type formation, right, or set of offense here. This is what Akron also likes to do here, where they really hurry up, dead ball, they're still quick with it, but take their time.
Rolling to the left, throwing back across his body, and that one falls incomplete. Now 4th and 6 from the 36-yard line. This feels like that no man's land, that territory where this is 4-down territory, Dom.
Oh yeah, this is where you go to your favorite play in the playbook, right? They got the big cards there. I bet there's a funny one that we'll find out here later. But right now, this is where you go to one of your favorite plays and see what they do.
Well, it is a funny one. The Colts, they've been struggling this season. Back to pass on 4th down. Instead, scrambling, running for the first down, going to get the first down and a little bit extra up to the 29-yard line. Great look there by Palais. He saw that room, used the speed to move the chains. Now quickly back to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. Here's a handoff up the middle. And taken down just past the 25 was Ludwig. Two receivers out to the far side. Here's a snap and handoff to Ludwig. He's trying to bounce out to the left-hand side. Edge is set. Nice stiff arm. And rumbling forward for a couple extra yards and steps out of bounds at the 19-yard line.
Call a first down here.
Just got to those chains. Intended target, yard line officially at the 13. Again, that's Ludwig, and he's been effective out of the backfield. Excuse me, actually that's number 6, Tanner Nolan, the tight end. Rolling to his left, Tally out to the near side. At about the 9-yard line on the completion. That should be enough to move the sticks again and should be a 1st and goal, and it is. And a reminder that this trip to the red zone is brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit them online at kelly-mac.com. Back to pass. Instead, Noah handoff. And a little bit of room to run, and Ludwig taken down at the 1-yard line. Low snap, handoff, and this one's going to be stuffed. And we've seen this before. The couple of games that we've been here and covered Brunswick, we've seen them twice so far this year. When their backs are up against the end zone, they make it difficult to run it up the middle against them.
They actually do better with less space, more pressure.
Here's a run again, and they're going to get the stop again. So forming that wall right in front of the end zone, and now 4th and goal from the 2. Offense is going to stay out there for the Explorers, and they're going to bring in more of a heavy set. Looks like 2 tight ends come in. I would assume they're going to try to run this again, but hey, Brunswick has really shown that they're physical in that front 7, especially on that line of scrimmage when their backs are up against that end zone, as we talked about.
Look at this set.
Goal line package, here's the handoff, and it's going to be stopped. The Blue Devils hold strong and keep this one at all zeros on the scoreboard.
What my favorite saying about a defense is, they bend. I'll tell you what, my friend, they do not break. This Brunswick defense has proved all year long, despite their record, that they're tough no matter what the score is. They are not going to let it easy for you. They are between the 5 and the goal line. This is a team that fights. This is a team that scraps for every yard, and they proved it. Hey, can't do it with 1 play, 2 plays, 3 plays, 4. You need a fresh set of downs there at the goal line if you want any chance against this Brunswick defensive line. Cool, this is why I love football. Goal line plays like that.
Well, if anybody thought that Hudson, with their undefeated record, was going to walk in here tonight and this was going to be easy and non-conference play for them. Again, mind you, a really late non-conference game here in this season. Brunswick's a tough team. We talked about them being better than that 2-6 record. They're going to look to do what they can to make things really difficult on the Explorers here tonight. And the Explorers shooting themselves in the foot, giving a little bit of extra room for Brunswick, now having them backed up, and I think the Blue Devils will take every yard that they can get to clear out, because you know they're going to want to run that football with Roxandich and Crawford as well. Here's the keeper with Roxandich bouncing out to the left-hand side. Physical sophomore quarterback drops that right shoulder through the chest of the defender and up close to the 1st down marker. Looks like he's just going to be a little short.
Boys, Roxandich physical. Again, he's one of our favorite players to watch. I mean, we've seen him twice. They've lost twice, but he continues to progress. And that's all we can ask from a sophomore quarterback. How are you getting better every week? What can we see in your game that's progressing, right? Still struggles with some throws, but he's improving every time we see him, Cool.
Saw him in motion. Roxandich, the keeper. He's going to pick up the yard and some. Up to the 17-yard line. Move the chains. And looks like that ball came out right at the very end.
Oh, there's a scrum, Cool. There's Hudson celebrating, but the refs don't know yet, and they signify that it's Hudson's ball.
And it is Hudson's ball, so Roxandich on that keeper had it ripped out right at the very end. Of course, no replay review here in high school football. Not sure if he was down there, but Hudson, they'll take that. Great field position.
Hey, you know, depending if we can go back, zoom in a little bit, Brandon, work your magic a little bit. Maybe we can figure out if that ball was down or not. But but the ref said it's Hudson's ball. That's good effort there by the defense. Right, put your helmet on side of where the ball is. You know, get your hand there, rip, tug, do whatever you can. Now it's their ball here in the red zone.
Here's a handoff, finding some room up the middle. Up to the 10-yard line, gain of 5.
This Hudson team is a color commentator's nightmare. They're so quick that in doing my stats, I look up and there's like 2 plays go by.
They are definitely in a hurry. Occasionally they'll take a look over that sideline and slow things down, but trying to keep everything off schedule and not let the Blue Devils defense really get set with that rhythm. Here's a handoff up the middle. Ludwig looking for a little bit of room. Surges forward for a gain of 2.
You know, one thing they do with Ludwig is you can kind of tell what's happening with the placement, right? So what they like to do with their running back is sometimes he's a few steps up like he is now. So they're going to do outside zone to the left, or they're going to do some type of veer option, right? Either way, they're telegraphing, but it's what they're meaning to do here.
Pele rolling to his right. Found a little bit of space in between his guard and tackle. Slipped through that hole, and now a 1st and goal once again for Hudson.
And of course, since I mentioned it, I was wrong.
At the pistol, here's a handoff up the middle. They got stuff last time, instead able to bounce this one. Ludwig finds his way to the end zone, and capitalizing on that turnover, the Hudson Explorers. 6-0 on the board. PAT coming up.
You know, and that's because of that turnover there. If you're Brunswick, you got to be shaking your head thinking we could have limited this, right? This is a direct result, of the fumble that we had. Now we have to clean things up and have a clean possession. They've only ran 5 plays. Cool. They do a little bit better if they want a chance to beat an undefeated team. And this is really what's hurt them all year, is they're putting themselves in the right spot. The coaching staff is doing what they can to put these kids in the spot to succeed. The kids have the talent. They put in the work. The problem is it's these little mistakes that young teams do, right? And they have to clean that up if they want to take the next step.
Yeah, low line drive, PAT up and good. Now 7-0 in favor of the visitors. Of course, you're watching and listening live on the Keon Sports YouTube channel. If you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, we would appreciate it if you want to go ahead and share the link to this broadcast. Know of others out there who want to tune in and watch and listen to this one live. Again, make sure to share that on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to. We would greatly appreciate that. Also, if you want to see an update of what happened around the area with high school football at the end of the night or tomorrow, make sure to go to the Keon Sports website, keonsports.com. Of course, you can also see that links to those things will also be up on the Keon Sports Facebook page too.
Are there any big games going on tonight, Cole? Here around the area? Isn't Olmsted Falls playing Avon Lake?
Yeah, that is a big one. That is definitely a big one in the SWC.
What happened when...
Oh, the ball's out.
Oh, wow.
On the return. It looked like might have been down there, but in the bottom of that pile, officials saying it's going to be a fumble, and the Explorers getting it back. So 2 fumbles proving costly for Brunswick. They had a lot of momentum swinging their way after getting that stop, and things are starting to fall apart.
See, the Brunswick coaching staff saying he's down. Oh, wow. They are upset, reasonably so. They believe he was down. I didn't see it.
I think he might have been down there. I mean,
wow.
there were a lot of bodies. There was a huge pile. It appeared that the return man would have been down, but the officials saying no. So that's 2 fumbles that both arguably maybe could have been ruled down, but instead it's going the Explorers' way, and they have an opportunity to capitalize here and put themselves up 2 scores. Just under 4 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. to lay back to pass out to the right-hand side. Completion. It's now going to be a 2nd and short. Jack Jenkins with the catch there. 2nd and 3, handoff. Ludwig brought down from behind. Picks up about a yard, maybe 2 there on that carry. 3rd and short. Two receivers to the near side. Here's that quick snap. Handoff. Ludwig. He's stopped. He's not going to make it to the sticks there. It's going to be a 4th and probably about a half a yard there. So the offense going to stay out there on the field. Now sending out the same personnel that they did when they got stopped on the goal line. Looks like they might go to that goal line
Let's see his formation. Yeah, got the fullback to the left and H-back, QB sneak.
And the push from behind, the extra effort, keeping those legs churning, and that will move the chains for the Explorers.
So a formation like that is similar to, let's call it a Maryland formation, where you have your quarterback under the center, you have 2 fullbacks and a running back, right? A little different here. You got an H-back to your right, a fullback wherever you need him, right? They moved him to the left before he was right behind. Then you have your running back in his traditional spot.
Throw out to the far side. Completion, finding some room to run, getting past the first down marker, and sneaking into the end zone is number 10, Jack Jenkins.
22-yard touchdown pass.
The 22-yard completion from Palais to Jenkins there. Puts Hudson up 13-0, an opportunity to make it 14-0 here on the PAT. Hold is good, kick is up, and it is good.
2:13 remaining. Hudson 14, Brunswick 0.
So 14-0 now in favor of the visitors. Brunswick going to need to find a way to hold on to that football and piece something together here. Going to be important to work their way down the field, piece a drive together, get some points, or this could get out of hand. And we talked about it. It was looking like how we expected. We thought, hey, maybe Brunswick here tonight can make things interesting for Hudson. There's a lot of game left to go, but after that huge stop, those back-to-back fumbles, very costly for the Blue Devils.
Absolutely. Cool. You know, whoever turns the ball over last, they win the game. That's the game we live in, right? And usually turnovers come in a crucial spot either before you can get momentum or draining the momentum that you had. That's traditionally what we see. That's what we're seeing here is a team that before they could even get it, they turn the ball over twice. The defense never leaves the field. They go on the sideline, they get teased a little bit, they can get a break, and then boom, they're right back in. That's not what you want to do to your defense. This defense right now is huffing and puffing on the sideline. They're begging for a break. This offense is basically fresh, right? I mean, you've ran 5 plays. You had a one possession that was 2 plays, I think, or I think it was 1 play, and then you had a kickoff return fumble. So your offense has not been on the field and your defense hasn't gotten off. That's not how you want to treat your defense here if you're the offense. We need a cleaner drive.
Here on the squib kick, that one takes an awkward hop. Brunswick trying to get to it. They do get to the football, picked up. Going to be taken out past the 30-yard line. And the drive is going to start at the 31. And the game of football is definitely about capitalizing on your opportunities, minimizing mistakes. And the mistakes that Brunswick has seen here in the first quarter has given some great field position to the Explorers, and they have capitalized on those opportunities that have been gifted to them. But now, Roxandich, the Blue Devils, the offense, back out on the field.
You know, we knew this would be a tough year for Brunswick. You know, they lost a good amount last year. Have a receiving core that's back, but a quarterback that not a lot of experience, and here are the growing pains that we're seeing.
Here's a handoff to Toomey. Toomey looking for a little bit of space. Penalty markers down on the field right around the 29-yard line. I think this one's going to go against Brunswick and come back, and it will be a hold.
I want to start a petition that makes holding a 5-yard penalty than a 10. I feel like that's. I mean, everyone holds. Why is it 10 yards? I don't know. That's the one thing I feel like there's more severe penalties that are like 5 yards than holding.
Spoken like a true offensive lineman.
Yeah, but, I never had to worry about it, Cole, because I never held my life. Anytime the ref called it, they were seeing things, Cole, if I'm going to be real with you.
So after that penalty, ball back at the 20-yard line. Down to under 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. First down for the Blue Devils. Handoff, Toomey finding a little bit of space. Stayed on his feet as he was stumbling, kind of cat-like. Put his hand down. He was running on threes there as he was holding the football, and he picked up an extra 5 yards. What a great effort play there by the experienced defensive back who we're seeing a lot in the backfield in Toomey.
Redefining the term running like a three-legged cat.
It worked. 2nd and 12, ball on the 30-yard line, and penalty markers now down on the field.
That would be on Brunswick. There's a little bit of jump, no, it was on Hudson. I was looking the wrong direction.
Second time that Hudson's jumped off sides here in this quarter, giving up those 5 yards, and now much more manageable as Brunswick finds themselves at 2nd and 7. Lafko. And here's Toomey on that handoff. Again, you saw Safko come in motion out from the left-hand side here to the right. Toomey took that handoff, got past the 40-yard line, down at the 41. 3rd and 1. And there's just a difference of 4 seconds between the game clock and the play clock, so you're going to see Brunswick have to at least run another play here.
All right, so we haven't really been able to really dive deep into what this Hudson defense is doing, right? Because it's been working for the most part, right? First a turnover, and then or a fumble, I should say, and a 3-and-out. So that's what they're doing here. I mean, looks like a traditional 4-3. They work the under a little bit, having a linebacker on the line.
Here's that keeper for Roxandich. She's going to get that first down, but that's going to be the last play here of the quarter. And that clock's going to run, and that's going to do it for the first. Again, Hudson up 14-0 on the road. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by All-in-One Services. Mike Zeck brings 37 years of experience with him to every job. Doesn't matter how big or small, Mike Zeck with All-in-One Services is the man to get it done. He can be reached at 919-909-7779 or online at allinoneservices.net. You can also email him pictures of the job needed to mzeck@allinoneservices.net. B.A. Sweetie Candy Company. The world's most famous candy company is right here in our backyard. They are located at 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, and it is a candy lover's paradise. They have every candy from your childhood, so make sure to visit them today.
Back for the start of the second quarter here from Week 9, Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Everybody, thanks again for watching and listening to this one here. Hudson with that 14-0 advantage over Brunswick, but the Blue Devils starting to piece some things together here on this drive. It looked like really back behind the chains, things were going to be difficult, but they picked up the first down. Now here with the 1st and 10 from the 43 is flip sides of the field. Roxandich, keeper, drops his shoulder, tries to power through the linebacker, gets a gain of about 3 yards there. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, so this Hudson defense is running a what we like to call a 4-3 under. So usually your traditional 4-3 that you see is a 4-3 over, where that third linebacker, that will, is usually kind of in coverage. But with an under, they put him on the line. Now, right now we're not seeing that look, but we have seen it from time to time here in these few plays that Brunswick's ran.
3 receivers to the near side of the field, a screen thrown out to Safko. Safko gets close to the 50-yard line, brought down. Actually, the far side official going to say it's directly at the 50-yard line. So it's now going to be 3rd and 3 after the 4-yard completion. Two receivers out to the far side. Two tight ends here to the left of the line. Tight end in motion. Handoff. Looking for some room to run. And it looks like number 14, John Crawford, going to be just a little bit short. Now going to be 4th down and just about half a yard.
Yeah, if you're Brunswick here, keep it simple. And that's where this under defense is actually going to come into play here, I would imagine, where they're going to have number 40 here probably get up onto that line. Let's see what they do here. But, you know, if you're Brunswick, keep it simple. I mean, run with Roxandich, right? It's been your bread and butter this entirety of the year. So that's probably what they're going to do. Maybe they do something fancy. I highly doubt it. You're a run team. Stick to your roots. Let's see what they do here. But I'm interested. There we go, 40 on the line. It looks like a bear, but it's not. It's an underlook.
Here's the keeper, Roxandich. Nice cut. Drops that shoulder. He's got to surge forward, and he does. Looks like he's just going to be making it directly to the sticks there. Hudson thought that they stopped him short, but Roxandich, the physical sophomore quarterback, because of that cut that he made, that shiftiness he had, and then dropping that shoulder, he got it just enough to move the sticks there. Ball going to be at the 47-yard line. 1st and 10. That's a huge pickup there for Brunswick.
You know, if Brunswick, they want to win this game, they have to find this identity where they're tough and gritty. They're a running team. Doesn't matter who's running the ball. I think they struggled really committing to that identity here. They need to establish that, Cole. And here, now you have that under look. Really, this is more of a bear look than under with only one linebacker back there. But they want to dominate the line, Hudson.
Trips right, screen, Safko trying to make a man miss, and he's brought down about a half yard behind the initial line of scrimmage there. Really about the same play call we saw just a couple plays ago. Instead, that was thrown out to the far side of the field instead of the near side. Hudson was ready for it.
Ugh, bubble screens.
Holds and bubble screens, Dom Clary's enemies in football.
You know, the bubble screen is because of the spread offense, and that's probably my least favorite thing about it.
Roxandich, the clap of the hand, rolling out to the left-hand side, throws on the run, a little bit high. Safko gets up to it, strong hands, pulls it down. It took a host of Explorers to bring him down at the 46-yard line.
Never heard that saying, but a host of Explorers. As they explored over to get that tackle. I'm not even sure that's a correct term there, Cole. I think I made something up. What a unique mascot, the Explorers. Usually it's like the Pioneers or something around that realm.
It's cool because it's different, yeah.
And their logo is like the Mayflower.
On some motion, both receivers out to the near side thought that was getting snapped. Sam and Safko. It was just the tight end coming in motion from right to left, and now we're going to back up the Blue Devils. And this is going to be a 3rd and long. Exactly 14 yards they're going to need to pick up this 1st down.
Yeah, this is definitely not the situation that you want to be in if you're Brunswick. This is just, your offense is just not built for moments like this. They're built for those tough, gritty yards, not the finesse yards. And they have the wide receivers to do it. Roxandich kind of struggles to lift the ball up a little bit from time to time. His target point is usually a little bit lower than you'd like.
And movement again. False start on the offense, and they're going to get backed up once again, and this is going to get really long for the Blue Devils here on 3rd down.
Interesting enough, Roxandich was backing up. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know who they called it on, but it looked like he was backing up.
Roxandich was backing up. Everybody was moving. That one's got to be on the center there, not snapping that football.
Yeah, and what could have happened there is you could have had a center that was making call-outs, right? High school only so many teams where their center does call-outs. He could have been making call-outs here.
3rd and 19 now. Roxandich dropping back, throwing the screen. A little bit of room to run after the catch. But the ball's out. Fumble. It's on the ground again. And it looks like the Explorers fell on that one. And they did, scooping up off of the carpet for the 3rd time tonight. Well, I know it was going to force 4th down, but still would have been that territory on the other side of the 50 where you would have maybe thought about going forward on 4th, or at least you could have brought the punt unit out there and tried to pin the Explorers deep. Instead, that turnover, really costly, because like I mentioned, that is the 3rd one, and we're only really less than 5 minutes in to the 2nd quarter. It's still early tonight.
You know, we wondered why this Hudson team was so good. I think we're finding a reason out why.
Here's the keeper out to the far side, and actually on that run, again, it was a handoff actually to number 8, Ian Ludwig. Making his way to the 50-yard line. Gain of 4 on that carry.
We're seeing a team that doesn't turn the ball over, and they force turnovers. That's a positive differential that you want.
Tight end in motion, handoff, bouncing out to the far side. Gio De Pompey, the senior wide receiver. Player to watch for coming into the night, but he's been pretty quiet so far. The quick slot receiver. Now throw out to the far side, short completion. Yards after the completion, getting out past the 1st down marker, moving the chains for the Explorers on that short catch.
Play good for an Explorer, 1st down. Trey Sharp on there.
2 receivers in the backfield with Palais. Back to pass. He wants to throw this one deep. He's got a man, and he finds him up the middle of the field. That is a touchdown. Number 9, Trey Sharp.
43-yard touchdown pass. Palais to Sharp.
Palais, 43 yards down the field, bombing that one to Sharp. Just had one defensive back to beat, and it was dropped right in the basket there for Sharp and easily hauled that one in. No one back there to stop him from really walking that one into the end zone.
You know, that's why we see quarterbacks do that throw it in the bucket drill, right? You get a point if you hit the bucket, but you win the game if you put the ball in the bucket, right? That's a kind of little finesse that so many quarterbacks dream of having, that little touch, right? Where you can just put that ball exactly where you want it, put it over the defensive back, but Palais really has that, hits his wide receiver, and that's, beautiful catch, beautiful run. This Brunswick team right now is looking for answers. I guess you can call it 3 possessions if you want to call that kickoff return to possession. 3 straight possessions with a fumble call. They've only had 1 possession that didn't result in a fumble, and that was a 3-and-out. This team is there's so many things you get excited about, but then you just see things that are so many growing pains for this team, and they're coming from people that have experience. They have won with this team last year. I mean, that was a good team we saw last year. I think finished 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, made it to the playoffs.
They made it to the playoffs, but they was a good team last year.
Yeah.
They beat Menor. Menor. They beat Menor last year.
And they hosted in the playoffs Berea Mid-Park here. Again, that was actually a very close game, and Mid-Park barely came away with the victory.
Oh, but Mid-Park won.
That was close. That was definitely close there in the postseason.
Are you sure? I thought Brunswick won that game.
I was here.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, then I'm lying then. I guess you know better than I do.
Yep, and Mid-Park then went on to play against St. Ed's last season, game after. Here on the return, past the 50-yard line, pushed out at about the 45. Excellent return there for number 25, Colin Kuvalik. So 6 minutes left to go here in the 2nd quarter. after that made PAT on the other side of the field. 21-0 in favor of the Explorers. Now great field position here for the Blue Devils on this drive. Right around that spot where that ball was fumbled by Crawford on the last carry he had. Now Toomey to the right of Roxandich. Two receivers out to the far side, one to the near side. Roxandich looking out to Safko. Safko has to get down to catch that one. And because it was a little bit low, his knee touched the ground. And the official on the far side all over that one. Loss of about 4 yards on that catch.
4-yard loss on the play. Second down.
You know, Cole, you can just feel the entirety of the energy of this stadium. This big stadium, I will say, has no energy right now. This team, if they want to get this crowd into the game, they got to put on a show, something they've struggled to do. But right now, they have a chance to do it. You're down 3 scores. You still have an opportunity to be in this game. It has to be done now.
Roxandich looking to his left, wants this one deep, and should have been caught. In and out of the hands of number 4, James Snyder Jr. He got up over the defensive back. If he could have come down with that one, he had 20 yards of green grass in front of him, would have found his way into the end zone instead, dropping that one, and that one hurts because Roxandich put that on a dime.
I know, as a lineman, I would have been, ready to run down, and then immediately hands on the knees, just like, it's in the pocket, perfect pocket. We did our job. He did his job to get open, and the ball just slips out of his hands due to the cold air. Oh, that's killer, Cole. Absolutely killer.
3rd and 14 now from the 48-yard line. Roxandich back to pass, looking to the far side, and he's going to float this one way long. A little bit too much zip on that. Needed to float it more and let his receiver run under it. Was throwing that in the direction of number 1, Cade Somm. After the incompletion, 4th and 14 in the punting unit out on the field, and Roxandich handles those punting duties.
And that student section was ready to jump out onto the field there. They're just waiting for a chance to just get excited.
Punt from Roxandich, takes a hop, about the 13-yard line, and scooped up at the 10. And that is where the Explorers will come out onto the field and try to piece together another quick drive. Now they have plenty of time up on the clock, just under 5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. If they look to, again, put more points on the board, as I'm sure they will continue to try to do so.
You know, cool. It's been a quick game.
It has.
It is only 7:43. And there was 4 minutes and 53 seconds left in this half.
3 receivers to the near side of the field. Ludwig to the left of Palais. Back to pass. Oh! Interception on the screen. Jumped by Jack Safko. Laid out for that one. Hauled it in. That's the play of the night for the Blue Devils so far. And now going to be 1st and goal for Brunswick.
Oh, that was something cool. You know, I kept playing in my head the entire time. Oh, I mean, reading it's one thing, but diving with really no head start. Oh, that's just, I love football, cool. Plays like that, they just incredible.
Well, we talked about those experienced receivers that Brunswick has. They're quick, shifty guys. A lot of them, you know, it just seems like it's a team full of slot receivers. Safko there, one of those good receivers, and on the defensive side of the football, making something happen, and now an opportunity for the Blue Devils. Roxandich up the middle, pushing forward behind that pile, gets up to the 3-yard line. Gain of 2, 2nd and goal. And a reminder that this trip to the Red Zone is brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit them online at kelly-mac.com.
Now, Brunswick's able to stop teams on the goal line. Now can they score on the goal line? This is where you have to prove that it can be done on both sides. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can rise to the occasion. Right, make this just a 2-score ball game. They need to cut into this league. Perfect opportunity created by the defense.
Receiver in motion, handoff. Crawford pushing, and looks like he found his way in, and he did. Brunswick, their first points on the night, capitalizing on the first Explorers mistake. A lot of points coming off of turnovers here in this one, Dom.
Yeah, absolutely. You just had a running back bully through a few Explorers here, Cole. I mean, you have to love the aggressive play. I mean, Brunswick, they're an aggressive team when they run the ball. I mean, that's what you want to see from a team like this. Just be aggressive, be tough, be gritty. And they did it there thanks to their defense. Let's see if the defense can create another opportunity. Now maybe Hudson will, make sure there is no opportunity for Brunswick. But I don't think they will. This is a Hudson team that likes to move quick. They want to maximize their opportunities. Now, Brunswick, maximize a few opportunities of your own, just like you did in this last possession.
Not the prettiest PAT, low and off to the left, but it finds its way up through the uprights. And another point for the Blue Devils. Now down 2 scores, 21-7. A little bit of momentum, a little bit of energy back in this stadium here at Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium. Exactly what the Blue Devils needed. You got to say, there have been a lot of good things that we've seen so far in this game. There's been plenty of good plays. We talked about the goal line stand they had, the interception Safko just had. And you get that touchdown. A lot of time left to play. We still got a full second half coming up here. If you can get a stop defensively, you can make things interesting, put some pressure on the Hudson Explorers. So 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Personal foul going against Hudson after the PAT there. So we're going to see the kickoff come from the 45-yard line on the Explorers side of the field. So honestly, Dom, when you see really your special teams unit going out there on the field and you're kicking it off on the other side of the field, is this that time where when you're down, I know it's still early, but you maybe get tricky, maybe try to go for some sort of a squib or maybe a little pooch kick here, see if you can float this one up in the air and get your unit down there and see if they can get to that football?
I would definitely squib it here to the right, but that's not what they're going to do. They're going to put that in the end zone. I can't argue with that, actually. But, if you want to be a little risky, you squib it there to the right. There's a little bit less people in that spot. Squib it, see if you can get there on time. Probably not, but see if you can cause some mayhem.
Maybe, Dom, this is the soccer player in me, but I know that I could easily scoop that ball up with my toe type of deal. I'd be so interested to see if kickers would ever think at some point of, I'm going to go up to that football, I'm just going to get it high up in the air where it almost hangs up in the air like a punt a little bit, and see if that hang time allows your unit to get down the field and see if they can get to that football. Something you don't see tried too often. Ludwig, the run up the middle. Excellent carry there on first down. Picks up 6.
It's easy for us non-kickers to say, I'll just do this and get the ball. I know you're a soccer player, but it's easier said than done, Cole.
Ludwig the carry for the first down. Move the chains for the Explorers, and again looking to move quick.
That was Ludwig there, you said?
Correct. Fakes the handoff. Palais down the field. That shot that scored the touchdown. And a penalty marker down on the field on the incompletion. And it looks like they're going to call pass interference here. Defensive back number 19, Landon Case, was there right when it seemed like the ball was coming down. Was he a touch early? Possibly. Might have forced the incompletion. But the home crowd not happy with that one, and I got to say, they got a right to not be happy. It looked like he timed that up. It was bang, bang play. Really close. Tough to call that.
He might have been a second early. I saw a hand go around.
Right.
So I think that's where the call goes, is because of the early contact. But, you know, there's a saying where doesn't the cornerback also have the right to the ball?
Yeah.
So it could be that argument there. The wide receiver's blocking his right to the ball, but you can't argue with a 50-50 call like that. I'd like to see those not called, but also these refs are doing the best they can.
Right.
The ref put himself in the best spot to make that call. He feels like he did, and you can't argue with that decision.
And we've seen a lot worse not called throughout the season through the first 8 weeks.
We have a flag here at the line.
Yep, penalty marker here down on the field. Keeper by Palais up the middle. He's brought down in the backfield, but assume this penalty flag is going to go against the Explorers.
See what happened there with the coaches? The one assistant coach went up to see what was going on. Maybe the offense coordinator, I'm not quite sure. And the umpire the ref, shoot him away. I thought that was a little funny.
So illegal formation going against Hudson. Now 1st and 15 from the 44-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side. Ludwig to the left at Palais. Back to pass. Looking over the middle. Finds his receiver. On the completion, picking up about 5 additional yards after catching that football. Number 6, Tanner Nolan. The tight end making an impact. So we've seen the ball in his hands a few times. Getting quick back to the line of scrimmage. Handoff, Ludwig. He's going to get past the first down marker, past the 40-yard line, up to the 37.
Down from behind by May. Play good from an Explorer, first down.
Tight end in motion. Palais rolling to the left. He's going to keep this. Finds a little bit of a hole. Gets past the 35-yard line and up to the 34. Gain of 3. Down to 2.5 minutes left to go here in the quarter.
They can take their time. 2 minutes. Clock stops on a first down. You can really kind of still run your offense here. They're really quick. I mean, when they change formations, they're slow, but they're usually quick. They stay in one formation majority of the time.
Palais rolling to the right. Finds his receiver. Caught close to the 25-yard line. Number 10, Jack Jenkins, hauling that one in.
First down, Hudson.
He's really been their guy tonight in the air. They really like Jack Jenkins. We didn't have him circled to start, but I put him on my list after the 3rd or 4th possession, Cole. He's been vital to their offense.
Made a huge impact. Also has a 22-yard touchdown reception to his name so far this evening.
You know, he really has that burst of speed. He's one of those players to spread offenses around where you can give him the ball short and watch him go.
Palais was going to go with the keeper there. False start going against the Explorers, so that's going to back this one up as those whistles blew. So after that ball coming back 5 yards, now 1st and 15 from the 30. So an opportunity for the Explorers to slow things down a little bit. Get the call in for the offense, looking over to the sideline. Just really changing that pace. We see a lot of hurry up at times, and there will be times when that clock is stopped where they will slow it down. Palais rolling to his left. Has some space in front of him if he wants to keep it. He decides to do so. He's hit after he gets back to the original line of scrimmage and picks up another yard additionally. Pushed out of bounds. Now 2nd and 9. Safko making the tackle.
What division is Hudson? I imagine they're Division 2. Yeah. Solid Division 2 program here. I wonder if there's anything they can do here in the playoffs. I mean, they're currently beating a D1 program here. So
here's a handoff. Looking for some room is Ludwig. Brought down about 2 yards short of the first down sticks. 3rd and 2. Looks like there's a whistle there and something going on with the substitution. Coach just a little out on the field. So this clock is stopped. There's a little bit of a delay here. I'm not sure exactly what they're waiting for now. Play clock down to 4 seconds. Finally got some action, things moving. Here's the snap, Ludwig out to the left-hand side. He's going to get the first down. Now 1st and goal at about the 7-yard line. And this drive inside the red zone is brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit them online at kelly-mac.com. 1 minute and 15 seconds left. From the 7, Palais keeping it, trying to find a hole there and swallowed up in the backfield. Not much room, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Ball going to be marked at the 7-yard line again, 2nd and goal. Quickly getting that ball set. Tight end in motion out of the pistol. Palais rolling left. A little bit of pressure there in the backfield. He's trying to get around the edge. A lot of blue jerseys. And he's going to be brought down out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So a timeout. It looked like he got out of bounds. That clock continued to run though. Timeout taken by Hudson. They're going to talk things over as 3rd and 5. 3rd and goal coming from the 5-yard line up here in just a moment. So it could be huge for the Explorers to get a score here before going to the locker room. Of course, the Blue Devils receive the ball coming out of the halftime break.
So I think because of that, if you're Hudson and you don't get the 3rd down here, probably kick it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would think you maybe want to take the points. You know how tough the Blue Devils get when they're backed up inside their own 10-yard line up against their goal line. It's going to be hard to run that ball. Maybe you can look to your receivers like Jack Jenkins, who's made an impact tonight, try to throw it to him here. He might be the intended target, the primary guy that they're going to want to find, see if Brunswick can take that away. It would be interesting if the Blue Devils can get a stop here on 3rd down. You'd maybe have to think about kicking it. Wind's died down a little bit. Wind would be in the face of the kicker. It's been blowing from right to left across the field, but from such a short distance, would think that this is just an easy chip shot if they would decide to kick on 4th down if that ends up coming up.
I mean, a kick here puts you up 3 scores. So it's not like one of those occasions where no matter what, it's still 2 scores or whatever. It puts you into a 3-score situation. It gives your defense a little bit more cushion rather than a 2-score ball game.
Clap of the hand and the snap, looking to the far left-hand corner. Tight coverage there from Safko in the direction of Ludwig, and that one falls incomplete. Now 4th and goal from the 5-yard line.
I think that's the kicking team, Cole.
And it is the kicking team coming out on the field, as you mentioned. If they make this field goal here, it would put them up 3 scores. It's only 30 seconds left.
And right now, tackle over, tackle over. You're trying to get your other tackle over. You have the clock to work with.
It's going to be a 22-yard field goal here. This one up. High and splits the up. Oh, no.
Wow.
No, it just missed. It looked like it was going to split the uprights. Maybe a touch to the left there, and that's huge for the Blue Devils. So that's the 2nd time they got a stop in this half, backed up against their own end zone.
So I don't know who the young man was there, but that's a credit to the rush coming from the opposite side of where the tackle is. So you put the tackle, your extra tackle or tight end, you put him over on the opposite hash that you're on. So you have a short side in a situation like this when you're not in the middle of the field. That's where the rush came from, right? So you had field goal block left. That's where the pressure came, and that forced the kicker to overcompensate, was scared it was going to get blocked, and kicked it too far. I think maybe to the right or to the left. I'm not quite sure. I think it was to the left, but got him a little bit scared, wasn't able to go through the fundamentals. That's just beautiful effort there by the Brunswick Special Teams unit.
Here's the handoff. Toomey looking for some room on the carry. Only about a yard short of the first down there. And after that nice run, might be worth it to really keep that offense trucking along, see if you can find a way to make a big play happen and get down the field. It's going to take a timeout.
Play action shot, Cole. Play action shot. That's what I would do. They don't do too much play action. Instead of play action, they do rollouts. I'd really not like to see that. Roxandich gets a little happy feet when he's doing that. He doesn't. It's hard because you have a rush behind you, right? And you know the blocking's a little tougher to do as an offensive lineman on sprint out plays. He kind of doesn't set his feet when he's in the pocket. Sometimes he throws the ball a little too far. He usually doesn't underthrow when he's in the pocket on a deep pass. I'd like to see him really throw one here. I wonder if they try to get the first down first. They have 2 timeouts, so I wouldn't mind them getting a first down and having fresh downs to work out with, because this is not a formation I'd imagine they're passing in.
So 2 seconds added back on the clock, 20 seconds left in the half. Hand off to Toomey. They pick up the first down and some extra yardage as Toomey showing off the quickness, getting out to the 45-yard line. He's brought down, moved the first down marker, moved those chains. 14.8 seconds left exactly here in this half. Wow, 2 back-to-back runs where Toomey's had huge holes, and the shifty talented player there, the senior, finding some space and showing off his quickness. Only had 1 man to beat, and he could have taken that one to the house.
Oh, easily there, Cole. If he has a little extra muscle there, throws that defender on the ground. But right now I'm looking at Coach Pinzoni here. Let's trust your team here. 2-6, you have nothing to lose, right? Playoffs are most likely kind of out of the way here. Right now, your only focus is on building this team, showing them that you have trust in them, and beating an undefeated team. You have an opportunity. You've had an opportunity of doing that before against top teams in their own conference. Believe in your team now. Throw one deep. Do some type of maybe a trickery play that you think your team runs well. Do something here, but they're probably going to run it. It's their bread and butter.
And movement up front, and that hurts. False start on the offense. Look like number 76, Dylan Cobb, senior lineman, flinching up front. Setting the Blue Devils back 5 yards, now 1st and 15 from the 40.
You know, you have a young lineman who's eager to get blocking, eager to run this play. It just jumps a little too early.
Tight end in motion. Hand off to Toomey. Toomey cutting back, finding a little bit of space. He gets past the original line of scrimmage, up to the 46-yard line. And Brunswick going to burn their final timeout, it appears.
So here's why I'm confused. If you're calling timeouts, why are you running?
That is a great question.
Does that not make sense to you either? I like, you know, and I trust in this coaching staff here that they understand what this team's capable of, and I understand running the ball is the best thing this team can do when it comes to the success of this team, but not in this situation. If you throw a pick, it's essentially a punt.
Well, the thing, Dom, is they definitely have had some successful runs, but you were spot on there. You were up against it with the clock time-wise here. You got to find a way to get down the field at the moment. At minimum, put yourself in field goal range, and you're way out from that at this point. Now with 7 seconds left, no timeouts on the clock, you pretty much put yourself in a position where you got to throw this one down the field. This is pretty much Hail Mary situation now at this point, and it didn't need to be.
It didn't have to be. You have a young quarterback. Show him that you believe in him. Throw the ball.
Down the field, looking for his intended target, into double coverage, and that one, he caught it. Brought down by Safko. Safko wrestled that one away from the defensive back, Jack Jenkins.
He didn't get out of bounds, Cole.
No, and he's down.
They call him out of bounds?
I think he was out of bounds. He came down with that one, wrestled it away from the defensive back, and came down at the 15-yard line. 0.7 seconds left.
You got to go to the end zone here. This is why you believe in this quarterback. You trust these old wide receivers, the senior wide receivers. Cole, they have an opportunity to cut this into a one-score lead with 0.7 seconds. Not something common you see here, Cole. Believe in Rock Sandish. Are they kicking a field goal? No, they're not. Watch what they do here.
They're going for it, not going to kick the field goal. Rock Sandage, pressure in his face. He floats this one to the back corner of the end zone. Up, and an opportunity, and this one falls incomplete. And these teams are going to the locker room with a score of 21-7. But, Dom, we have witnessed some interesting things here at the end of this half. On the other side of the field, the Explorers, it looked like it was going to be a good kick. It was up there, but hung a little bit far to the left. Again, it looked high, looked like it was going to be good, but like I said, just a touch wide. Brunswick making that stop, and then coming down the other end of the field. You and I were wondering why they were running, had some successful runs. Jack Safko, have yourself a night. This first half, he has been outstanding for Brunswick. He had that really big interception on defense earlier. Huge completion there as Rock Sandage put that one into double coverage out to the far side of the field. And Jack Jenkins, for the Explorers, who's been great at wide receiver for them, looked like he was going to come down with the interception. Instead, Safko, senior receiver, wrestles that one away from him out of bounds, and it gave them an opportunity. Surprised they didn't go for the field goal and try to cut into this lead, get them 3 points up on the board. Again, wind was at their back. They decided to keep the offense out on the field. Didn't end up working in the long run, but it was a very exciting last couple minutes that could help Brunswick momentum-wise. Reminder, they get the ball to start the half.
You know, right now, if you're Brunswick, you actually have a lot of momentum. Yes, you didn't score, but boy, did you prove that, hey, we're a big play potential team. Now you have to show it. Coach Pinzoni, you now have an opportunity that your players, they have momentum more than they had in that first quarter. Show them that. Show them that when you come out of the half. First play of half, I don't care if it gets picked, throw the ball deep. Right now you have a team that they are ready to get going. You have a Hudson team that's like, this might be a 2-6 team, but they're probably one of the better teams that we played. I believe that. I know you believe that, Cole, and our listeners surely know that now. You have a Brunswick team that, once again, is against a team who's most likely going to the playoffs, and they're in the game here as we head into the second half. Cool, we could have a doozy of a second half and a doozy of a ball game at that.
Well, this game has had pretty much everything. The Week 9 Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. For myself, Cole McDaniel, as well as Dom Clary, we're going to step aside here for halftime. Again, you're going to hear from Brandon Soder giving you the halftime updates, and then we'll be back here in just under 20 minutes.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Back Attack Snacks. They're a healthy option on the go and provide the very best in healthy snacking. With everything from beef jerky to roasted almonds, they have it all. Visit them online at backattacksnacks.com. Car Parts Warehouse. If your car is in need of repairs, then the first place you need to call is Car Parts Warehouse. They cut out the middlemen and bring the service right to you. Find them online at carpartswarehouse.net. Cleveland Bakery Collective not only focuses on bringing together some of the best food and flavors in the Cleveland area, but creating a collaborative and supportive environment where local food artists can prepare, produce, store, and sell their delicious products all in one convenient location. Check them out online at clevelandbakerycollective.com. And welcome into the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week halftime show as the Hudson Explorers have traveled in to take on the Brunswick Blue Devils. Hudson currently leading this one 21-7. I am your host, Brandon Soder. Thank you for joining us today, folks. Great game so far, despite what the score might indicate. Hudson able to jump on top early, take advantage of some crucial turnovers, but Brunswick at the very end of the half, really capturing momentum. So let's take you a little bit through what's gone on so far. Folks, you see there is 28 points on the board, and I'm here to tell you all 28 of those points scored off of turnovers. It was a tough first quarter for Brunswick as they fumbled on their first drive and then again on the kickoff after Hudson scored, giving Hudson two opportunities to go up 14-0 very quickly. Then getting into the second quarter, it was the same deal. Brunswick's offense out on the field. A crucial fumble led to yet another Hudson score. But then Brunswick coming back to life after going down 21-0. Hudson backed up against their own end zone, tried to throw a quick little screen, but it was Jeff Sapko of Brunswick jumping in front of it, getting the interception, and then setting up a touchdown for Brunswick to make it 21-7. Hudson had a chance too. At the end of the half, got it down to about 28 seconds driving down the field. Brunswick held tough, held them to a field goal, was no good. And then Brunswick, 28 seconds to go. An offense that's been struggling to really get anything going. They ran the ball down the field, got it to about the 45-yard line. And then all of a sudden, Rock Sanders, the quarterback, uncorks a huge pass, gets it down to about the 15-yard line of Hudson. 0.7 seconds left on the clock. About as exciting of an ending as you could get. Tried to throw one more pass into the end zone, which was unfortunately incomplete. But Brunswick picking up some crucial momentum here, and they will get the ball to receive in the second half. Brunswick is definitely the underdog in this game. They come in at 2-6. Hudson is still undefeated on the season. But Brunswick has really set themselves up nicely. Like I said, they have the momentum. They have a chance in this game, so do not go anywhere, folks, because we could have an exciting ending on our hands. Again, both offenses struggled at times. All the points have been off for turnovers. Anything can still happen at this point. So a couple things for you folks. You're watching on YouTube right now. We still have to name the Back Attack Snacks player of the game. Still a close one here. We could have a player from either team win this. So if there is somebody that you think is deserving of our Back Attack Snacks player of the game award tonight, make sure you put that in the comments on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube right now, I need you to hit that subscribe button. That way, every time your team is playing, whether you are a Brunswick or a Hudson fan, you are notified when we are live at one of these games. Only a couple more weeks of high school football left, unfortunately, for the regular season, but we are going to be going into basketball, covering games that way as well. Tons of great content heading your way, so again, hit that subscribe button so you get the latest from Keon Sports. And speaking of Keon Sports, last thing, folks, we are the premier source for all high school football and all high school athletics in the Northeast Ohio area. Just under 30 games covered tonight by our writers and interns, so make sure after this game you check out KeonSports.com to catch up on all of the Northeast Ohio high school football action. We have you covered. So that'll do it for me, folks. Again, the Hudson Explorers currently on top of the Brunswick Blue Devils 21-7. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the start of the second half.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Cleveland Fitness Club. They have it all: bikes, tracks, courts, and even pools. They truly have something for everyone and are open 365 days a year. You can visit them today at 6600 West 130th Street in Middleburg Heights. Climate Tech Inc. For 48 years, family-owned and operated Climate Tech has been the premier company for all HVAC services. For both residential and commercial, they have it covered. They offer free estimates on equipment replacement and 24-hour emergency service. Visit them at climatetech.com. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop has been your trusted barber for nearly a century of great haircuts. With affordable prices and excellent customer service, there's no better place to get your cut. It is located at 26915 Center Ridge Road in Westlake. Dick Esser Plumbing. Get exceptional plumbing repairs and installations for your commercial property from the experienced professionals at Dick Esser Plumbing and Heating Incorporated. They provide honest services and quality workmanship. You can find out more about them today at dickesserplumbing.com. Frankie's Italian Cuisine. Looking for a place to enjoy a post-game meal? Love Italian food? Frankie's Italian Cuisine has you covered from meatball to lasagna. Visit them tonight at 4641 Great Northern Boulevard in North Olmsted. Great Lakes Training. Great Lakes Basketball caters to athletes of all ages and experience levels with a wide variety of training techniques. Book your first session today at www.greatlakesbasketball.com or email Coach J at coachj@greatlakesbasketball.com. Helene Kia. Looking for a new or used car? Check out our guy Jim McConville at Helene Kia in North Olmsted on Lorraine Road. Jim is a trusted member of the auto community for over 20 years. He will treat you right no matter your car buying need. Hinckley Roofing. They are your first choice in commercial and residential roofing. This family-run company has been around for 50 years and is your first choice in trusted roofing needs. You can find them online today at hinkleyroofing.com or call them at 273-2979. JBL Roofing and Construction. JBL is a licensed, bonded, and insured contractor with the experience to complete any job needed for your home or property. Let their team of professionals help you with vinyl siding, windows, roofing, and gutters. Get the job done right the first time and stress-free with JBL. Call them today at 330-677-9463 or visit them on the web at jblrc.com. Jeffrey Protects Insurance. In today's day and age, insurance from someone you can trust is more important than ever, and you won't make a better choice than Jeffrey Protects Insurance. At JPI, they specialize in Medicare, healthcare insurance, and life insurance. Visit them at jeffreyprotects.com or give them a call at 330-304-7267. Jenny's Popcorn. You can find their flavors anywhere popcorn is sold, including Giant Eagle and Mark's. Visit them online at jennyspopcorn.com or in person at 38727 Taylor Parkway in North Ridgeville, Ohio. They have everything from butter, cheese, caramel, and everything in between at this popcorn paradise. Jerome, Grauer, and Associates. They handle estate planning and their steps are so simple. They handle everything from simple wills to complex trust planning. Contact them today for your legal needs at 216-241-9990 or check them out online at jeromelaw.com. Julie Dangerfield of Keller Williams Realty. Julie has the experience, knowledge, and determination to get the job done. Contact her at 440-309-0396 or by email at julieand222@gmail.com for a complimentary market analysis of your home value today. Kelly McLean Achievement Center, the premier resource for high school athletes who wish to continue to play in college. They provide a one-on-one consultative approach to help students determine their needs and goals. Visit them online at kellymac.com. Makeaway Dumpster. At Makeaway, customers get discounts on days and prices. They offer 24-hour delivery in most cases, along with 10, 15, 20, and 25 cubic yard containers. With Makeaway, there are no hidden charges for drop-off, pickup, or wait. Find them at makeawaydumpsterrental.com. MDG Flooring. If you're in need of quality flooring for your home or office, look no further than MDG Flooring America in Medina. There is nothing that Steve and his talented staff cannot handle. Call them today at 330-725-5252 or stop in and visit them in person at 3812 Pearl Road in Medina. Nancy's Main Street Diner. They only prepare your meals with the freshest ingredients. The dishes are made to order as they never use heat lamps and they take no shortcuts whatsoever. They're located at 426 Main Street in Grafton, Ohio. Nancy's Main Street Diner is your choice for all 3 daily meals. Play CLE. Play CLE is the ultimate indoor adventure park in Northeast Ohio. With ziplining, ninja obstacle courses, climbing walls, and the area's largest indoor ropes course, Play CLE is the best option to get inside and have some fun and adventure. It's the perfect place for your next team building event, birthday party, or field trip. With an on-site bar and kitchen, Play CLE makes sure you are properly fueled to reach new heights. To learn more, visit playadventureparks.com or stop by the facility in Avon off 611 and Chester. Salad Craze. Looking to eat healthy and go away happy? Try Salad Craze. They have been voted Cleveland's healthiest restaurant 4 years in a row. Stop in for yourself and find out why at 690 Avon Belden Road in Avon Lake. You can check out their menu at saladcraze.com.
And we're about to get the second half underway here from Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium, where the visiting Hudson Explorers lead the Brunswick Blue Devils 21-7. Cole McDaniel alongside me, the hatless Dom Clary. Didn't get his hat from last week that he was wanting.
I want one of the artist hats that the band has here.
Yeah, I know. You moved on from the Rangers hat from last week that the band was wearing to.
I still want the Rangers hat. It's just now I want 2 hats.
Absolutely. And again, here's us in the box.
I want a hat to look. My hair's out. I need a haircut. I don't got a hat on.
Again, thank you everybody for watching and listening live here on the Keon Sports YouTube channel. It has been a game full of really everything here tonight. Fumbles, some nice touchdowns, big interception, goal line stands, missed field goal. It has pretty much been everything. Now, as the Blue Devils going to be coming back out on the field, it's going to be their offense out on the field first as they're going to receive the opening kickoff here of the half. Both of these teams warming up, getting set here for the second half. Of course, also a shout out to Brandon Soder over there manning everything with the camera and all the technology for us. Again, you heard him at halftime as well, giving the brief halftime update. So again, shout out to him. Huge part of our 3-man crew. So, Dom, obviously we talked a little bit at the end of the first half of the craziness of the last couple of minutes. Coming out here for the second half, after being in the locker room, both teams taking some time to cool off, talk things over, get a little bit of a breather. If you are the visiting Explorers, up 2 scores, your defense coming out on the field, what do they need to do to maintain this lead?
Well, if you're the Explorers, you got to do exactly what you're doing, but kind of multiply it by 10, right? So what I mean by that is, you want to double what you're doing. So you have 3 turnovers, create 3 more, right? You have 21 points, create 21 more. So you kind of want to keep adding on to what you're doing. It sounds simple, but usually in the second half, you can see a fall off on offensive production. Right now, if you're the Blue Devils, it has to be the opposite. You need a limit of what the Hudson Explorers can really do.
As for the Brunswick Blue Devils, coming back out onto this field, great opportunity to score at the end of the half. Maybe cut this one to a 1-possession game. Unable to do so, but Safko ripping that one away from a near interception on that deep throw down the field. Gave them a chance to throw one to the end zone where it did fall incomplete. Now down 2 scores. Dom, what do the Blue Devils need to do to really force their way right back in this game?
Be aggressive. Trust Rock Sandich, and what I mean by that is give the young man the ball, right? Had a turnover, that's okay. Let him keep doing his thing, right? Trust him, trust your wide receivers, continue trusting in that defense, and also throw the ball, right? It's easier said done. Throw the ball deep, right? Because like we talked there at the half is I couldn't care less about the simple curl routes or the slants. This team does not need to do that. You have 3 to 4 runners that can do that, including your quarterback. Throw it deep. Take a deep shot. Do a little play action. We don't see really any play action from this team. I wouldn't really roll Rock Sandich out. He seems a little ineffective from time to time when rolling out. The young man does great when he can keep his eyes deep, really lock on one target and hit that target, right? He's still learning how to make multiple reads. But that being said, trust him. Trust he'll make the right decision, because right now, to win this game, to get back into the game, you need him to step up big, and he's capable of doing so.
Well, and John Crawford has run touchdown. That rushing touchdown, again, the 1 score for Brunswick up on the board, giving them those 7 points. You mentioned Toomey having some nice carries. He's been finding some open running lanes, but you're right. Down a couple scores here now. Try to get that ball in the hands of Ethan Roxandich. Let the quarterback throw it down the field. Look for his intended targets like Cade Salmon, Jack Safko, who's having an excellent night. Of course, his interception is what set up that touchdown. And now will be the Explorers kicking off from left to right on your screen. Back to return at about the 15-yard line for the Blue Devils. And this one going to be a squib. It's going to be fielded at the 35 and going to be excellent field position for the Blue Devils as they're going to start at their own 45-yard line. Roxandich in the offense back out onto the field.
And they really seem to struggle on the first plays of the half. I don't know if you noticed that. they really seem cold when it comes out of the start of the game or the start of the half. Young teams, that's a tendency that they'll have from time to time, depending on what type of team you have. Again, this isn't, I don't want to say they're not a big play potential team, because that's not the truth. It's a team that likes to be methodical and run the ball and take a deep shot when they can, because right now I think they have 2 tight ends in the game, Cole.
Safko in motion, hand off to Toomey. Toomey trying to bounce and get to the far outside. If he could have got around that edge, room to run, but brought down by the linebacker there. Tracking him down was number 11, Ronan Spawn, and what a great tackle by the linebacker, chasing down the quick Toomey.
It's a great name, Ronan Spawn. It's good, like a anti-hero. That's a great the linebacker? It's a great linebacker name.
2nd and 10 now from the 45. 2 receivers to the near side of the field. Toomey to the left of Roxandich. Tight ends on either side of the line. Roxandich back to pass, looking over the middle. A little high in the direction of Cade Somm, just off of his fingertips, and that one falls incomplete, hitting the turf in front of the feet of the safety, who was back and nearly able to get to that tip ball.
So that was a 2-man route there by Somm and Safko, right? You had Somm up in the middle, and then you had Safko, who kind of ran like a curl route, maybe like a hitch, just wide open. Need to make your reads, look at more than one option. That's right now the problem here with this young quarterback in the Rock Sandich. He only really focuses on one read. He needs to move his eyes just a little bit more.
Here he is, back to pass, looking to the outside, throws that one just a little bit short in the direction of Matthew Horton. And after the incompletion, now 4th down, and the punting unit out on the field, and Roxandich, of course, serving as that punter as well. They'll send this one away. So that 3 and out definitely hurts, because it was a great opportunity for Brunswick coming out of the locker room to piece together a drive, really march their way right back in this one. Now you're giving the ball back to a quick moving, high-powered Explorers offense. Here's the punt, up in the air. This one hangs up, fielded at the 24-yard line, trying to cut back, look for a little bit of room past the 25, down at about the 27, and that is where Hudson will bring their offense out on the field for the first drive of the second half.
Dunkin' Donuts is a proud supporter of the Blue Devils. Be sure to stop by after the game for a delicious beverage and
So just a minute off of the clock on that Blue Devils drive. The quick 3 and out. 3 receivers to the near side of the field. Ludwig to the right of Palais. Now switching there, and here's a handoff to Ludwig. Trying to get around the edge there, and he's brought down at the 30-yard line. Penalty marker down on the field, sitting at about the 26. Should be a hold against the Explorers.
holding against the Explorers.
So now you're going to have a 1st and long situation here for Brunswick. Got to limit this play to 5 yards or less, right? I mean, really, less than 5 yards is ideal, but 5 yards or less here for this team, right? Nothing deep. I don't think Hudson will really go for anything deep here.
Spot foul. Takes the ball back to the 16.
But right now, you have an opportunity here for Brunswick, not just to stop them on possibly just 3 plays. Let's get the ball back in good field position, even close to your half of the field.
I have the pistol. Palais rolling to his left on the run, back across his body. He finds his intended receiver and diving back to that ball and bringing it in at the 26-yard line. Still going to be 2nd and long.
See, that's okay, right? 8 yards, but you can't let them have 8 right back here now. Get a loss of play, or if they throw the ball, try to get an incompletion. They'll run it here.
Here's a handoff. Ludwig finds a little bit of room, makes a man miss an open field, stumbles, cuts back up to the 50-yard line, move the chains. Great run by the junior running back.
Boy, he is good. He's just able to kind of stop on a dime, shove a defensive back into the ground, and keep on chugging.
Moving quickly. Want to give it to Ludwig again. Getting out around the left-hand side of the line. And after running into a couple blue jerseys, he pushes forward to the 1st down marker again. Should be just enough Actually, no, going to be second and short. They're going to spot him down actually just a yard short. Looked like he might have had that final surge. Ball now at the 42-yard line. Back quickly to snap this again. Would expect a handoff instead. A throw out to the near side, an opportunity to take this one to the house. Nobody's going to catch him. To the 5, into the end zone. Jack Jenkins, touchdown number 2 on the night.
Screen pass, right? You have the outside receiver there with a block. The inside receiver, the outside receiver with a block. The inside cornerback is essentially isolated with how quick Jenkins is. Goes off to the sideline, and essentially you're just running 100 meters there is what it feels like. It's just a straight shot, and he was able to slow down there at the end. He just got so much of an advantage over everybody else. He didn't need to keep going, was able to slow down a little bit. Jenkins has been phenomenal tonight here, Cole. He's one of these wide receivers. Honestly, I should make a list of our top 10 receivers we've seen because he's going to be up there. This kid is good.
PAT is up and good now, 28-7 in favor of Hudson. So after almost lulling the Brunswick defense to sleep, run after run after run, they were anticipating it there, expecting it would go to Ludwig on that short yardage to go to move the sticks. Instead, the screen out to the near side. As you mentioned, Jenkins, as soon as he caught it, he got around the edge. Nobody was going to catch him, and he was able to take that one to the house. Been a receiver that's made a huge impact here tonight. And you mentioned it as well. It would be so interesting if we put together a list of all the great receivers that we've seen play this season. Again, we saw a handful of those really talented receivers when we saw Medina and Minter play as well, but you see Jenkins find his way in there. Safko's certainly making a case here tonight, and we've seen a lot of other great receivers. There are a ton up here in Northeast Ohio.
You know, even if we made that list, we'd miss still a ton. I know there's a talented young receiver at Avon who's a senior, is getting college looks. I know there's
Matthew Stewie, Avon Lake.
well, we saw him, so he would be on that list, but there's a few people that we have not even seen that would be on that list.
Fielded at the 12-yard line by Safko. Safko looking for some space. Runs into a wall of white jerseys there, but getting a push from behind, and that push from behind from his teammates gives him an additional yard or two. So taken down at the 31-yard line, and that is where Rock Sandich and the offense return back out on the field. An important drive here. They want to have a chance. Still plenty of time up on the clock. 9 minutes left in the third quarter. But going to need to start getting things turning a little bit more. And this is what we talked about. This isn't how they typically play. It's tough with that system of when you want to go to that ground and really be physical and chip away. You like to be in the lead or very, very close. Here, you would expect they need to go to the air a little bit more because clock is going to really become your enemy here in this one as much as Hudson is. Two receivers to the near side. Rock Sandich takes the snap, looking back to pass. Throw out to the near side. That one had a one-handed grab. Cade Somm hauls that one in. What an incredible grab. Gets that right hand up there. Pulls it back down to his chest and keeps the feet in bounds. First down.
Incredible is past that is Rock Sandich needs to learn to keep that down just a little bit because, I mean, Somm, let's look at him here. He's a senior. He's not going to be able to he's not making that catch for you next year. He's not walking in that room when it comes camp time. So you're going to have to lower that ball so you have a wide receiver that can make an easier catch because a Somm isn't easy to have. Players like him aren't common.
Tight end in motion. Toomey gets the handoff. Plenty of room up the middle, up the gut. Nearly 10 yards there on that carry. Just a little past the 50-yard line. Second and very short.
No, I really like Toomey in the way that he runs because, you know, he's a smaller guy, right? He's not that big, a little skinnier, a little shorter. But, boy, he doesn't run like it. When he sees contact, he lowers his shoulder and he invites it. That's the type of guy that you want as your running back. I know at the beginning of the year wasn't the guy that they had, but now he is. And they love him back there. I mean, he's been phenomenal.
Toomey gets the handoff again. A little bit of space. He gets past the first down marker, trying to back up for additional yardage. Taken down at the 48. Enough to move the chains. Nice little drive getting pieced together here by the Blue Devils. Yeah, and it's funny, we were talking about, again, these receivers of Brunswick not being the biggest guys. They all seem to be like those smaller slot-type receivers. They're shifty. They made some big plays here tonight. Maybe they can go to him again. Rock Sandich looking back. And that one, a little bit of contact as soon as that ball got there. Falls incomplete. Intended target there is number 44, Jonathan Putz. And the tight end, again, got hit by the defensive back as soon as the ball arrived.
So that's good effort there by the defense, right? Making contact as soon as the ball would be caught. So that's good effort, good timing. Here's the thing. Did we not see that earlier in the game?
We saw the exact same bang play on the other side.
No, a little bit different because one was a guy trying to get to the ball.
Yeah.
This here was a guy making a play on the player, not the ball. It's a little bit different in the way that you perceive it as an umpire or a ref.
Toomey carry up the middle and brought down at the 40-yard line. But I see what you're saying, Dom, and it's correct. I think the thing is I think you and I both agreed that last one, right, that was a no call. But that's because that other one should have been a no call. Again, we're just asking for a little bit of consistency there on plays where they're both bang. There wasn't really hardly any contact until right when that ball arrived.
No matter what sport you're doing, you want to be consistent. Whether it's a strike zone, a holding call, you need to be consistent almost every time.
Toomey, carry again, trying to find some room up the middle. He does push his way forward for about an extra yard after he was hit. It's going to set up a 4th and short. And the offense is going to stay out there on the field. Toomey's going to come to the sideline. And John Crawford, a little bit more physical there at running back. Also the backup quarterback here for the Blue Devils. He checks in.
I would really like them to see a 2-quarterback set, which is kind of what they do, but have a 2-quarterback set where Rock Sandich slides over, and then they just slide the running back over and boom, have a little pass play.
Keeper for Rock Sandich. He's drugged down from behind, but enough to move the chains. First down. And the ball now at the 36.
They haven't really ran with them that much with Rock Sandich. It's been really Toomey's game. They like Toomey on the first two plays of the fresh set of downs. He's not in right now, but they like him there early on. Yeah, he might be more of a traditional third down back, but they like the power there in 3rd and short situations.
Safko and Som to the near side of the field. Rock Sandich dropping back was looking to the near side, and there was movement up front. Penalty marker down on the field. And again, we've seen that a couple times when the Blue Devils have started to really piece together a nice drive, shooting themselves in the foot with some movement up front, some issues there with maybe communication, and we've seen multiple false start penalties.
You know, I never played an offense that did it, but this offense does. They do the clap where it's instead of saying set go, I think they just clap. I've never played for a team that does it, so I'm not even quite sure how it works. I want to blame that. But also, like, at the same time, I don't fully understand that system. I never played in it.
It's become a common thing, that is for sure. This one high over the middle in the direction of Som. A little bit of frustration there from Som as he had his man beat. I mean, he was open. Defensive back still pretty close, but you put that right in his chest, Som's going to come up with that catch. And that's one thing where Rock Sandich has had an issue with that a little bit. We know he's got the arm strength, but he oftentimes comes up a little bit high on his throws.
He is 100% a baseball player in the sense that he has a strong arm, right? He's a right fielder, like traditional right fielder where they have the strong arm like a Bryce Harper. Now, he has to play baseball because an arm like that, you got to play it. But that's the problem when baseball players play quarterback is they don't often have the touch.
Here the screen to the tight end has a little bit of room. Slipping past the tackler, brought down at the 33-yard line. Nice gain of 7 yards there. Makes it much more manageable here on 3rd down.
Now, cool, that's a screen right there that I like to see, a little slip screen there to the tight end. Right, you look one way, look the other. Boom, your tight end is right there in the line of scrimmage. Has a few blockers there with him. Oh, I love plays like that. Cool. Rather see that than a bubble screen.
5.5 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Safko in motion. Safko gets the handoff, cutting back. Looks like he's going to get to the first down marker. He's directly brought down right at the 26, and that's where he had to get.
They're going to mark him short, Cole.
And they're going to spot him just a little bit short. Dom spot on there. maybe just a half yard. It's a really nice carry there from Safko, the wide receiver. So 4th down. Offense is going to stay out on the field. Rock Sandich, wouldn't be surprised to see a keeper here up the middle. Instead, a handoff to Toomey. Toomey's got plenty of room to the end zone. He's in for a touchdown. 28-13, Brunswick trying to edge their way back in this one.
That's why their running game is so good, Cole. And it just seems like they didn't want that to be their identity so many times, not just in this ball game, but in others. And here we are. I mean, Roxandich made a few throws that he needed to make, a few incompletions as well. But at the end of the day, this is a running attack that is truly deadly. They're very close to being truly in this ball game. Now, they're not striking distance yet, but they're about to be in striking distance to be in striking distance. That's a lot of words to remember, but cool. This is a Brunswick team. If they can get a stop here, they have a chance to get back in this ball game.
PAT wide left, and so it's going to be 28-13 still on the scoreboard. It's so funny, Dom, that we talked about Brunswick. They love to run that football. This is our 3rd time this regular season that we've been here at Brunswick to watch this team play and broadcast a game here. The first time we were here is they played against Olmsted Falls. Their running game was a different look. Rock Sandich, a lot of QB keepers and making plays with his legs. And of course, Brandon Nichols at that time, very talented senior running back, shifty in his own right. Again, a big factor in that second half as well. Of course, unfortunate, Nichols, injury, out for the season. So next time we come back and we see them play again, it's against Mentor, and then you see number 14, John Crawford, step in, a little bit more physical of a runner. You saw Roxandich run the ball a little bit less, but Crawford get plenty of touches. Now tonight, Toomey, who we really never saw get much of the ball, he is back at running back. We saw the impact he made as a returner. We saw the impact he made at defensive back. Putting him in the backfield has been a huge game changer. Toomey is so quick, and he's not afraid, despite being a smaller guy, not afraid to drop that shoulder and really initiate the contact when he sees a defender in front of him, Dom.
No, he's one of those guys that you love watching play because he's a smaller guy, but he invites contact, and that's the type of guy you like to see. They want him to stay safe and healthy. When you invite contact, you take a lot of bumps and bruises. But a guy like him is fun to watch just because he's so tough, Cool. I mean, no matter the size of the defender, he invites the contact, and he's ready to get going, keep those legs turning, break a tackle, and take that baby home. That's exactly what he does. He's a tough player. I love watching him play. But right now, they need the defense to come up big so they can continue giving Toomey the ball in a truly tight game. Let's see if they can make it one here.
So as we're singing some of the praises of the Brunswick Blue Devils run game, back on the other side of the field, Ian Ludwig has been hard to stop, talented running back for the Explorers. Instead, they're going to pass, short throw, and this one completed. Gio De Pompey picks up a couple yards there on the completion. Now 2nd and 7. So slowing it down a little bit, eating a little more clock now.
Yeah, taking their time. Now they're doing, they're doing a muddle huddle. I know that's a weird term, but usually this is just a quicker huddle where you have your wide receivers already out in play. They get the signals. You're just relaying it to your offensive line, and boom, they run to the line. That's a perfect muddle huddle. We did that in Baldwin Wallace my last year.
Here's that screen, finding Jenkins out to the near side. Almost an identical play to the touchdown we saw for Hudson on their last drive that went for some decent yardage there. That time, Brunswick expecting it. Sniffing that one out. Still moves the chains, picks up a first down, but minimizes the yardage they give up.
If you're going to give up a first down, give it up like that, right? Just 5 yards, just enough for them to get it, make them struggle. If you're going to make a team drive, make them take as many plays as possible. That's good work by the defense because now you have a team that's moving very slow compared to the first half.
Here's a handoff. Ludwig looking to get around the edge. He's going to slip away from one tackler, follow a blocker, tiptoeing around the sideline, trying to cut back, and they're having a hard time bringing him down. He's going to move past the first down marker and get plenty additional yardage on the Blue Devils side of the field. down at the 33-yard line. Great carry there for Ludwig.
They're going to rely on him. He's a tough runner. This offensive line, they're doing good work there for him, opening up space so he has an opportunity to break a tackle against a smaller defender instead of those big defensive linemen here for Brunswick. I mean, this offensive line, they're doing a great job as well, but Ludwig is doing a phenomenal job just creating opportunities for himself.
Here in the pistol again, Ludwig's going to get the carry. This time several blue jerseys getting to him and taking him down from behind. Only a gain of 1 there on that. But you just see the patience from him. He lets the holes open up, and then once he sees it, then he goes, and he's got that physicality. You mentioned being a tough runner, but the vision and that willingness to be patient, some people lack that patience. He's got it.
No, that being patient, jumpy, and then hitting a hole, that was popular when I was playing 2014, 15, 16 because of Le'Veon Bell, Pittsburgh Steeler running back. He was very patient.
Of course.
Very patient.
We got to find a way to get that here in the broadcast. Throw to Jenkins here on the near side, completion, and brought down at the 28.
No, but that seriously was the thing that running backs would do. So they would be patient and hit the hole. I mean, he kind of, I wouldn't say created that, but really made it popular of kind of jumping around, being a little jumpy there before you would break the line of scrimmage. And right now, Ludwig seems like he's almost perfecting that craft. Was that a pass there, Cole?
Yeah. Yes. 3rd and 4 now from the 27. 2 receivers out to the far side of the field. Palais rolling out. Throws that one high. And his tight end getting up to that one and hauling it in. Going to be a first down. Nolan Tanner. Big catch
Fourth
there.
down there, Cole.
Yeah. And just short. Looked like as he fell backwards after the catch, he was there close to the sticks. Instead,
I thought he got there too.
just about a half yard short there. But they're going to keep the offense out on the field in that power formation coming out. They're going to sneak it up the middle. Huge surge, easily picking up the first down and an additional yard after that. Clock continuing to tick down, just a little bit over a minute here in the 3rd quarter. Now, of course, at the end of the 3rd, we'll take a quick break and then be back with the start of the 4th quarter. Also a reminder, at the end of this game, we'll have the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week post-game show where we will announce our Back Attack Snacks player of the game. Here's a pitch. Still a power formation in, finding a little bit of room, chopped down at about the 13-yard line, but there are 2 penalty markers, one down at about the 25 and one down at the 21. Looks like this is going to be coming back in a hold against the Explorers.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be on number 4, Lucas Orfredo. Sorry, they have it reversed here. It's usually high schools don't do that. But that's a reach block, right? I used to love reach block. It was my favorite thing to do. In you reach block, you try to get one hand on the shoulder, one hand on the outside numbers, turn the shoulders. You got to be careful getting your hands on those outside numbers, right? There on the shoulder pads. And twisting them. If you as a ref see those outside numbers move in ways they're not supposed to, it's an automatic flag. He was pushing and pulling there like he is a defensive end here on the roster. He's pushing and pulling like a true defensive end and pulled the jersey too much. Got the pancake, but sadly not one that we'll reward him for because of the penalty.
1st and 20 now from the 31-yard line. 2 receivers out to the far side of the field. Tight end in motion. Out of the pistol, Ludwig gets the carry, finding some room up the middle, chopped down at the 24, and that should be the last play really run here of the 3rd quarter. And it looks like the offense of the Explorers going to walk over close to their sideline, and so that's how this 3rd quarter is going to wrap up as Hudson leads 28-13 over the Brunswick Blue Devils. We're going to step away, and we will be back for the start of the 4th quarter here on the Keon Sports YouTube channel.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Spins Bowl. Spins Bowl has 36 lanes and a large redemption arcade with a full bar and restaurant. It is truly a good time for the whole family as it has something for everyone, young and old. Swing by their website for more info at spinsbowl.com. TNT Construction. They provide residential and commercial remodeling, construction, and building services to clients in Cleveland and all of Northeast Ohio. Look them up today at tntcleveland.com.
Back for the start of the fourth quarter here from Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium. Week 9, Keon Sports High School Game of the Week. Hudson with that 28-13 lead and driving here at the moment. 2nd and 13 coming up from the 24-yard line. Of course, they will be going from right to left now on your screen as these teams flip sides of the field.
Second down and 13.
So 4 receivers wide in the gun. Palais rolling to his right. Pressure. He's got to throw this one on the run and finds his intended target, Jenkins. Jenkins hauling that one in is going to be about a yard short of the sticks. But Jenkins just continuing to impress tonight.
I mean, he just gets open in a variety of different ways. But right now, here in 3rd and short, they could even be setting up for a 4th and short situation.
Low snap, Palais is able to pick that one up. And it looks like he actually, when he went down and picked up that ball, they're saying that his knee was down. And so a loss of yards there in the backfield. So ball now going to be at the 18-yard line. It's going to set up, looks like a 4th and 7.
Oh, big opportunity for Brunswick. Gives you your offense an opportunity here if you can get a stop. You can allow a completion, but you got to stay in front of the sticks.
Penalty marker on the field here.
What'd they call?
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct.
So unsportsmanlike conduct going against the Explorers. Must be on the, looks like it's on the coaching staff on the sideline because it was the official there over on that sideline who threw the penalty marker.
I mean, I don't think he was too happy about that call. I don't know if Palais' knee was down.
It was hard to tell from up here, but the one thing is it was kind of similar to, remember that screen that Brunswick had out to Safko where his knee grazed the turf as well. Officials, again, calling that one, and just so happened to go the Brunswick Blue Devils' way. And, you know, this is one now at 4th and 21, down 2 scores. Maybe this can continue to help swing some momentum in Brunswick's favor. Offense still staying out there on the field. Going to have to launch this one towards the end zone. Receiver has his man beat, and this one caught on the sideline. That's the tight end, Tanner Nolan. And he got to the pylon, hit that pylon, and into the end zone. There's a touchdown for the Explorers.
Pass is good for a touchdown.
Wow. 4th and 21, Dom, and it results in a touchdown.
I mean, you could see he was getting open. Who was that, number 6?
Number 6, the tight end.
You know, he burned a defender right away. There's a reason why, you know, this Brunswick team likes playing zone a little bit. They played man. If it was up to them, they'd play zone every play. I think that right there they could have done that. Instead, they had a few players matched up there. I think the 2 safeties there were in a cover 2 sense where you had two players not in full man-to-man coverage, but wasn't able to help it out there. So that was just fantastic play. I mean, right now, Cole, the Explorers are starting to explore their way to a victory. I can't find a good pun with their name. Can't.
PAT up and good now, 35-13 in favor of Hudson. And, you know, that's just one, Dom, that really hurts. You know, talked about those turnovers earlier, but Brunswick has certainly had an opportunity to find their way back into this one, and that was a great opportunity to get a stop on 4th down. Again, that was kind of in no man's land, so the Explorers keeping the offense out there, and you let the tight end and Nolan Tanner get behind you, and not only does it result in the 1st down, it results in a touchdown. They're alone on that play. That's one of those when you got somebody in 4th and long, you almost have to think, just keep that in like a prevent defense. Sit a couple guys, in front of the 1st down marker a little bit. Just don't let anything behind you. Unfortunately, they did let somebody behind them.
Prevent defense a little extreme there. More of a cover 4, I would say, where you have 4 players really running deep and defending back. So, what I mean by that, for those that don't understand, when you have a cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, essentially that means 3 people in a zone. Now, again, you can have more than 3 people playing a zone. Your middle linebackers, your cornerbacks kind of playing in the flats. But when a cover 3, you mean 3 players kind of playing more deep. Now, there's more into it that truly I don't understand, because I was an offensive lineman. I understand more of the offensive concepts, more in the defensive concepts I do understand, are more between the tackles.
Fielded inside the 10 by Safko, gets out past the 25-yard line, taken down pretty close to the 30, and that is where Roxandich and the Blue Devils return out on the field. So if you're Hudson, though, you have to feel really good about what your offense just did. Things were going against you, that call, and then coaching staff not too happy with it. Offense said, no big deal. We'll do our thing, and they did, responding well, and they've really made the big plays happen, make it count when they have needed it. And that's why they find themselves up, leading in this one and looking to maintain that undefeated record this season. Here's Roxandich, saw him in motion. Instead, the handoff to Toomey. Toomey has a little bit of room, bouncing off one tackler and thrown down at the 39.
I don't even really say it was a tackler. He kind of just got pushed.
Kind of.
there was no form tackling there. It was kind of, hey, go down. And he just kept going.
Yeah, bounced off of the first guy, and it was just the one from behind that gave him the shove and went to ground, nearly picking up the 1st down, just about a yard short on the 9-yard run. Two tight ends to the far side of the line. Here's Safko in motion. Safko gets the football to me, the lead blocker in front of him, trying to set that edge. Got a little bit of a block and just enough room to get the yardage. Moves the chains for the Blue Devils on that Safko carry. So 1st and 10 now coming from the 44. 10 minutes left to go here in the 4th quarter. Blue Devils taking their time.
Yeah, and it kind of beat me to it. Not much urgency here as the Hudson student body is starting to vacate the premises in victory.
Toomey gets the handoff. He's trying to cut back and find a little bit of room, and really nothing there for him. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets about a half yard. They're going to give him 1 on that run. Hudson Explorer down on the field.
It's disappointing to me that Toomey's a senior, in the fact that I feel like we could have had more of him. I feel like if they would have found how good of a running back he was, that we would have been robbed of not seeing him play longer as a running back.
Right.
I mean, he's been fun to will be his last time playing here at Brunswick. Kind of wish that we got to see him not just, a few years ago, but even earlier in the season, see him play a little bit more.
Yeah, just the true definition of a ball player, and there's quite a few of them out there that are seniors that we could really say that about. Again, Kate Som, huge one-handed catch here earlier. Jack Safko made some great plays. There's a lot of players out there, again, that are just ball players. No matter what position you put them in, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's on the defensive side of the ball, they seem to make some plays happen.
No, I had a coach, and when I was in high school, was an offensive line coach. He was the first one to get on me when I made a mistake and say, just play football. Just play football. You're thinking too much. And that coach actually went to a school where he beat all of or the guy that won the Super Bowl for the Jets against the Colts, Joe Namath. He broke all his records in high school. That's the guy that was telling me, hey, just play football, and there's some truth to that.
Roxandich rolling right on the run. He finds Safko. Safko not only catches that football at the 45-yard line, turns, keeps his feet in bounds, cuts back, gets an additional 4 following the completion. Ball now at the 41-yard line. 1st and 10, 9.5 minutes left. Still just taking their time. Not too much urgency here from the Blue Devils.
What? Do you see that they had a bunch of players all the way back there? I was looking at my computer, getting stats down, but did you know what I'm talking about? There was like 3 players that were like 10 yards behind the huddle.
Yeah, they were pretty far back behind the huddle there. And now a timeout for Brunswick. Their first timeout of the half.
Do you remember last year? I think it was our second, third game that we ever covered. It was at Broadville Heights.
Yep.
Brecksville, Heights.
Yep.
Where they had a player that was 40 yards behind them, and he went in motion, forward motion, and then before the play snap, because obviously you can't do forward motion in American football, started going straight on the line, and I'm pretty sure they gave him the ball.
It totally looked like it was straight out of arena football.
It's Canadian football play. Cool.
Canadian football. I know arena football. You know, straight out of that type of playbook. But yes, you're right. Started that run way back.
Yeah. You don't see that too often. That's what that reminded me of.
So after the timeout, 2 receivers the near side. Toomey motioning out. That little screen play nearly intercepted as Roxandich threw that one right in the direction of his tight end. Instead, in the hands of Henry Kaspar, the defensive end. Kaspar putting his hands on his helmet. He knew he could have had that one.
Cool. That happened to me 4 times my senior year. I just remember looked on the sideline. My coach slammed his hat on the ground and said, Dom, what are you doing? Catch the ball. Ugh. Giving me Vietnam flashbacks here, Cole.
Trips left, Roxandich rolling left. On the run, throwing back across his body, and he throws an interception here. Didn't get his feet set. Little sidearm throw. And that actually tipped off of the hands of an Explorer and then found the hands of another defensive back. And it was really just white jerseys close to that. None of the blue jerseys were there. Not quite sure who Roxandich was intending to throw that one to. And following the interception, it will now set up 1st and 10 from the 26 for Hudson.
You know, a lot of credit to Roxandich, or he is just such a tough player. And I cannot wait to see what he does once he figures out his passing attack next year. You know, if I just hope that they put him with a good quarterback coach, that he seeks one out in the area and finds a mentor that can really take him to new heights. Because he has a lot of raw talent that kind of just needs to be unlocked.
Here's a handoff. Ludwig, little stiff arm, trying to get around the edge. And there's going to be a hold. This one's going to come back. Blocker didn't let go of his guy who was trying to release.
Holding on the Explorers.
So they're going to reset the football and push this one back 10 yards.
Cole, can I ask you a non-football question?
What's that?
What's that chant that band does that every student section does? I don't know what it is.
What? The do it? Do
Yes,
it, do it.
I've only seen that in Ohio.
I like everybody in Ohio does it pretty much that I know of student section wise.
Like that's remember in Medina where I was like confused and you were talking to me and I was lost. That's what they were doing, and every time they do it, I'm like, what are they saying?
I'll explain in just a moment as Ludwig takes the carry, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, gain of almost 10 there.
I know it sounds almost dumb for that to be a question, but like I have no idea what's happening.
Well, let me explain this one for Dom, for all the listeners out there. It's as simple as they just shout, do it, do it, do it. And whoever does, and then when they're doing that, they jump up and down. And then they throw it to a class. And now seniors, and then they'll do that. And then pretty much that's the best way to explain it. It's a very simple chant. Well, we're going to make this simple for you here tonight. Ludwig on the carry again. He finds a little bit of room up past the 30-yard line to the 31.
Cole, in the where I'm from in Pennsylvania, there is no chanting, right? It's just football, Cole.
No chanting.
That. It's no chanting. There's no talking. There's no celebrating. It's just football.
Is this golf?
It's golf clap every time you score. No, of course there's cheering and stuff, but what'd you say? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe they were doing it. I was too focused on
Before
the game.
play, they shout silence in the gallery.
Hush!
Rolling out to the right, looking to cut back, splitting through two defenders, trying to get towards that first down marker. Going to be taken down out of bounds was Palais. Brought down at the 32-yard line, a gain of 1 on the carry.
You can't close it, you gotta do it.
What has this broadcast became?
Dom, we always have a good time when we're out here calling games. It's always a fun time. And you manage to make things more interesting every single week.
Oh, Cole, I got to make you smile from time to time.
Well, you do it all. Not only the color commentator here, keeping stats. Again, you'll see him tweet out some things as well. Also, make sure to check out the post-game article that Dom will put up on KeonSports.com as well. Toomey fields the punt. And this one gets past the 35-yard line, brought down at about the 37, and that is where the offense is going to come out onto the field. They're going to have 7 minutes to operate, down 3 scores.
Cole, I do it all, but I can't get a hat from North Ridgeville.
Well, no, you couldn't do that. And still to this point, you do not have one of those painter hats either that you saw down there.
I want the brush, too, that they had.
Those were cool.
I just feel like I'm missing out on a lot of things. Lynn Swan. Lynn Swan has to say a lot of things. I mean, we're talking about the former owner of the AFL Pittsburgh Power that lasted for 4 seasons. But I think it was him. It was either him or Stallworth. But, hey, he has to say a lot about things. I mean, he probably has some things on, like, civil rights issues, of course, and probably has a lot of different talking points on many things, issues of the world. I bet we could pull a quote or two here in our last week of going to next week. I'm going to find a few Lynn Swan quotes.
So miscommunication there between Toomey and Roxandich as Roxandich trying to hand it off. Toomey thought he would need to be the lead blocker, and Roxandich had to keep it. Brought down very quickly, a loss of a yard, but there was a penalty marker that flew from the back end. And it's going to be a personal foul penalty going against the Hudson Explorers, so it's going to give some additional yardage to the Blue Devils. Move the football up just past the 50-yard line to the Explorers 49. Sam and Safko here to the near side. Snyder out to the far side. Roxandich back to pass, looking over the middle. He sails this one high. It's going to be intercepted. Jack Jenkins coming away with the pick. He has a few touchdowns on the night, trying to make a man miss, and gets to the 42-yard line, and really saw that one coming from a mile away because Roxandich, as soon as that left his hand, was coming out hot, and it wasn't going to be a chance really for Safko to get to that one. And arguably, Roxandich hasn't had a bad night at all. Last 2 drives, though, haven't gone well for the sophomore quarterback, trying to sling it and just putting that ball in harm's way.
You're a young quarterback. You're down by a lot in a game that you felt like you guys could have not just hung in there, but possibly could have won. And you're kind of trying to get it all back at once. can't really do that. You're in a lose-lose situation at this point in the game. You just kind of got to find things where they are. He's just not able to do so. Just a tough day for him here at the end of the game. He had a solid game, for 3 quarters. It's just now game's pretty much out of reach. Nothing you can really do.
Ludwig with the carry was looking to go out to the right. Instead, turned his head, saw a little bit of a hole there, and cut back to his left. Surge forward for a yard. Now 2nd and 9 from the 43. Of course, getting that interception was Jack Jenkins. Nearly had an interception towards the end of the first half. Safko pulled it away from him and turned that into a completion. Now Jenkins getting that INT, seen him really make an impact at defensive back, sitting in the safety position as well, coming forward. He's here to the near side of the field, rolling to the left. This one throwing and diving, and just incomplete. Nolan Tanner hauled in that football, tried to drag that back foot, was just barely out of bounds. He's questioning that he thought he had a foot in. The official who was closest to that said no. Incompletion now leads to 3rd and 9. So the illegal man downfield. The penalty markers down the field. But after the ineligible receiver down the field, called by the official, talk to the coaching staff here at Brunswick. They're going to decline that penalty, so it's going to remain 3rd and 9.
Did they do the "Do It" chant when you were in high school?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. About, what was that, 15 years ago?
Not quite. 4 receivers out there for Hudson. Looking to pass, throwing this one down the field. And that one had a little bit too much zip on it in the direction of Gio De Pompey, the senior receiver. Got behind his man, but that need a little bit more arch on it there from Palais. Incompletion now 4th and 9.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the first down there. Threw it a little deep. Missed the wide receiver there. I'm surprised they're just not running the ball. Like, I don't know. I'm surprised they're not fully devoted to running the ball here, where they're kind of showing a mixed attack at times. Surprised they're just not trying to run the ball and get out of here. Still staying aggressive.
Here's that rugby-style punt. It is fielded at the 25-yard line. Toomey running backwards. And really that doesn't turn into much. It was a lot of east and west running. And he wasn't able to get any extra yards as he cut and tried to head north. Brought down at the 24. So 5.5 minutes left to go. Still 35-13 in favor of Hudson. If you missed the show at the beginning of the game, tuned in a little bit late. Again, the Hudson Explorers came into this one with a record of 8-0 overall. 5-0 in conference play in the Suburban Conference. Brunswick 2-6 overall, 1-3 in the Greater Cleveland Conference. Week 9, pretty late to have a non-conference game, but at times has been a very intriguing one. But Hudson, unless something crazy happens, looks like they'll end up coming away with the victory. Can Brunswick piece something together, pick up a score here on the jet sweep? Only a gain of about 2 there for Safko.
You know, cool. Let's talk about where we're going to be a little bit next week. I know we have an exciting one. We didn't go to this game last year, but I know we're both excited for it. We'll be at is Olmsted Falls?
Olmsted Falls.
Yeah,
they
Olmsted
host
Falls.
Berea Mid-Park.
I know that's a place that we both love going to.
Battle for the Bagley Cup.
The Bagley Cup.
Back to pass, Rock Sandich looking to the far side, actually to the near side of the field, and on the sideline, Cade Som drags the toes, hauls that one in at the 32.
You know, really tale of two different teams. You have a D1 opponent and really a D1 slayer in Olmsted Falls, it seems like, in recent memory. We have one team that really loves that triple option wing T style offense, another team that likes to spread the ball out, kind of let it fly a little bit. They'll run it but usually they like the quarterback throwing the ball. So it'll be interesting to see next week. And, you know, if you're interested in whoever's playing and watching these games, that's one to really tune into.
Roxandich, the keeper, up the middle on 4th and short. That's enough to move the chains. First down. Now for the Blue Devils. Clock continues to tick. Yeah, and that's going to be a good one next week, of course. Anybody out there watching and listening to this one, if you want to watch that one, listen to it live, absolutely can next week. But all these games also on playback here on the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Back to pass, Roxandich. Looking to run. Cutting back. Needs a block. Safko.
Flag, yep.
That's going to be from behind. Trying to help out his quarterback. And 3 penalty markers following in a triangle in that same area. Pretty obvious that that was against Safko.
You know, a block like that, they call it block in the back. It could have been called for a spear. So that's actually a call. I don't know if that's the correct call, but like that's an illegal play where a spear is usually when you're tackling, not blocking. It's when both feet leave the ground and you launch your body.
Right.
Yeah. So any of my wrestling fans, if you're trying to dive like what is happening? What those big letters going on? Yeah. An S and E. Do we have any other letters? Oh, there's more. Cool.
Here's Roxandich rolling to his left, looking to throw on the run. Looking to the outside, and Sam had to lay out for that one, and on the dive, unable to haul that one in. A little bit difficult for him, and now 2nd and 16.
Brendan, could you actually move the camera to the letters real quick that are? Do you see that to the right there? Yeah.
Don's been distracted by the letters over here that are rolling out onto the track.
You distracted me when you were looking at them.
Well, I saw it first.
You looked more confused than I was.
Maybe something going on here at the end. Here's a handoff, not much room to run as Crawford's brought down at the 30-yard line. So 3.5 minutes left to go in this one. It looks like Brunswick just pretty content to continue to sit on this ball, drain clock. See if they can maybe piece something together offensively, put something on film, something good to lead into practice this week. Back to pass, Roxandich looking to the outside. He's got a man. And flowed that one over the head of Safko, and I think Safko lost that one. He couldn't find it. He looked over his right shoulder, didn't see anything, looked to his left, and it was going directly over his helmet. That would have been a tough one for him to haul in, but it was about 2 yards ahead of him. Now 4th down after the incompletion. Ball still on that 29-yard line. Roxandich going to punt this one away. 3 minutes left. This one high up in the air and a really short punt. Doesn't make it past midfield. And it's going to be out at just about the 50-yard line. So the Explorers offense coming out on the field, and you know, obviously we've given a lot of credit to Ludwig at running back. We've given a lot of credit as well to Jack Jenkins at wide receiver. A lot of credit as well to quarterback number 17, Jaeger Palais, the senior. He had a really good night, and a lot of times too when there was a little bit of pressure in his face, still standing in there, stepping into those throws, launching it down the field. Here's a snap though, as change of players out there on the field for Hudson. Got some of the Backups in, getting some action, and that low snap rolling to the 35-yard line. And that is where number 18, Peyton Naher, jumps on that one. Avoids any danger there. Still a big loss of 15 yards. 2nd and 25 now coming up for the Explorers. Here's the handoff. Trying to run up the middle, keeping those legs churning, fighting for yards up to the 50-yard line. So gets all those 15 yards back from that last play. "20 seconds left on the play clock. Just a little over a minute and a half left on the game clock. Expect to run here again on this play. Here's the handoff. Some room to run. Going to pick up the first down. And cannot be tackled. Running out of bounds is number 31, Noah Broski. The junior running back. So as he steps out of bounds again, that stops the clock. A minute and 18 seconds left here with a fresh set of downs.
So I've been quiet because I was doing stats, but me and Brandon are right now trying to pick apart what the letters is. There's a J, a blue devil with a music note on one side of his face, an L, an S, and an E. Put in your submissions in the comments section of what you believe that says.
Yeah, they do not appear to be in the right order. Or I could be completely forgetting how to spell things at this point, but I don't think that spells anything at the moment.
You're what, 24, 25 years of age? You're starting to forget how to spell. I think I am too at only 23.
Now an opportunity for Hudson to be able to just take a knee. And that should do it. They're not going to have to run another play in this one, as this one's going to go final. And it's going to wrap up with a final score of 35-13. A victory for Hudson. The Explorers coming in to Brunswick, getting the win, keeping their perfect record, now moving to 9-0 on the season. Of course, we're moving to the last week of regular season play here this next week, so Hudson's still going to try to keep that perfect record on the line, move to 10-0 come next week. For the Brunswick Blue Devils, they dropped to 2-7 on the year. Of course, they're 1-3 in GCC play. See if they can piece something together next week, their last regular season game. Again, we want to thank everybody for watching and listening here, but we're not done yet, so don't turn away. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the Key on Sports High School Football Game of the Week post-game show, and we'll discuss our Back Attack Snacks player of the game. Don't go away.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Travel by Mickey. Now is the time to make memories once again, and Mickey Beachler with Travel by Mickey is just the person to make all the arrangements for your dream vacation. Reach out to her at Mickey Beachler at mousemadesimple.com to begin your next big trip today. With Mickey, you get to experience all of the fun with zero hassles or stress of any kind. From a Disney cruise to a trip to the Greek Isles, she has every dream destination covered from liftoff to touchdown. Village Coffee and Creamery. From the founders of Nancy's Main Street Diner comes Village Coffee and Creamery. They have everything from dessert, lunch items, and coffee to ice cream and every kind of sweet treat you could think of. They are located at 486 Main Street in Grafton. Westside Flea. Ohio's favorite flea market and festival will be coming back this spring and summer once again. The Westside Flea has something for everyone and will be held at North Olmsted Park on August 20th and September 17th. You can find them on Facebook at Westside Flea to learn more.
It's the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week post-game show here for Week 9 from Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium, where the Hudson Explorers took the win over the Brunswick Blue Devils. Cole McDaniel here with Dom Clare, of course Brandon Soder here with us tonight. As we're going to wrap this one up, we're going to talk about our Back Attack Snacks Player of the Game. They are a healthy option on the go and provide the very best option in healthy snacking. With everything from beef jerky to roasted almonds, they have it all. Visit them online at backattacksnacks.com. Dom, obviously quite a few great candidates here for the Back Attack Snacks Player of the Game. I'll let you announce who that is.
Yeah, so there's really only two that we can really talk about. Or not really talk about, but really two that I think we discussed. First, we'll talk about Ian Ludwig. He was phenomenal tonight. He had 29 rushes tonight, Cole. 154 yards. He had a touchdown as well. Despite 29 rushes, 154 yards, and a touchdown, he's not our player of the game, right? He's an honorable mention, right? Which I don't think we've done that before.
Yeah,
but
great night for him.
A fantastic night. He was a rock for them. But the man that really was their number one guy the entire night, really took the team on his back early in the game when they needed him to and helped them get to that early and healthy lead. It's Jack Jenkins, the senior wideout wearing 10. I mean, he had a 23-yard touchdown. It was the second touchdown of the day. Gave him that 14-0 lead. And then later in the game, he gave them a 41-yard touchdown. He had a pick as well. Something else I'm missing on the stat line?
Nearly had another pick.
Yeah.
Nearly had two on the night.
I mean, it was all over the field tonight, whether it was offense, defense. He's just an impact player. Really, he's going to be one of those wide receivers that we talk about for a long time, and we're going to hear about in the playoffs as well. This is a Hudson team that's ready to make some movement in the playoffs and make their claim. With they're hoping for a state title run, we'll see what they can do. But Jack Jenkins, no matter how far they go, he's going to be the guy for them going forward, and he probably has been as well.
Yeah, and a really good night for him. Now, everybody again who watched and listened to this one at home live, or if you watch the play back either tonight or you play this one back tomorrow sometime this weekend. Again, if you want to see what happened around the area in Northeast Ohio, again, we have riders at nearly 30 games each and every single week this whole regular season. Make sure to go to keonsports.com to check out what happened around the area. Of course, the recap article posted by our very own Dom Clary will also be up on the website as well, so make sure to go check that out. Also have the link to this broadcast as well. Feel free to share that. Again, we'd appreciate it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Next week for us, Week 10, mentioned it already, we'll be at Olmsted Falls as they host the Berea Mid-Park Titans. Going to be a really fun one, the Battle of the Bagley Cup, so make sure to check that one out as well. For myself, Cole McDaniel, for Dom Clary, and for Brandon Soder, we want to thank everybody for watching and listening this evening. Enjoy your weekend.